It's Big Game Sunday, the day everyone's been waiting for if you're a sports fan. That's right, Birmingham-Southern against Trinity. We know you've all been waiting for it, and Game 3 of this great series already wraps up today, and we're here for it, ready to go. What should be another good one as Games 1 and 2 were. I'm Brian Jenselson, joined again by Cole Isaacson. Cole, we've had a real treat this weekend watching the Panthers and the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Two completely different styles of games. Game 1 dominated by the pitching of both teams, only a 3-0 score. Game 2, the offenses broke out a little bit, 7-6 score, so it's anyone's guess what kind of game we'll get today.
And you see it on your screen, number 4 Birmingham-Southern, number 5 Trinity, and we're getting just about what you'd expect between two top 5 teams. Close games that could be decided at any moment. Yesterday, the Panthers escaping with an extra inning victory, one that looked like the Tigers could get. They were one strike away from making this a rubber match, but instead, the Panthers will look for a sweep today, and they are going with a very familiar starting lineup to do it. You have learned their names, but let's go through them one last time. Second baseman Andrew Dutton leading off. In center field, Cam McNearney. Ian Hancock, the DH, batting third. Cleanup hitter Noah Best, who kept the game alive yesterday, back at short. The catcher Jack Fleming, batting sixth. Left fielder Luke DiPiero, batting seventh. The first baseman Wesley Diamantes, batting eighth. The right fielder Eli Stedman, and wrapping it up at third base is Ty Truitt. It's a Panther lineup that is very dangerous, and 1 through 9, Cole, we have seen anybody can make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially a key part of this lineup is actually those 7, 8, 9 hitters setting the table for those top guys to bring them in, and we saw that a lot yesterday.
We've seen it a lot, and we've also seen those first two guys, Andrew Dutton and Cam McNearney, be a real force to be reckoned with. But those 9 will have a new test to go off of today, somebody that they have never seen, somebody that we have never seen. It is the sophomore from right here in San Antonio, Texas, Jackson Tier, making his first start as a Trinity Tiger, transferring over from Texas A&M Kingsville, and not just transferring this year, transferring this semester. He was not enrolled in school until this January, and now a month later, starting opening weekend for the Tigers.
Yeah, it just shows the trust that the staff has in him to do a good job today, and he's felt that the Tigers have done a great job welcoming him. He's felt that it's been a very smooth transition, and Dave Smith talked about the recruiting process as they tried to get him last season. He ended up going to Texas A&M, but they feel like that relationship when they were tried to recruit him is carried over into now.
Yeah, A&M Kingsville, a Division II program, so Jackson wanted to give it a shot, play at that high level of baseball. Texas A&M Kingsville, a great program nearby, but he felt that he wanted to be closer to home, wanted to join what he calls a prestigious school and baseball program, and now, just a month into it, he is going to start for the Maroon and White, who are wearing the black jerseys that you have grown to love, Cole.
I love the black jerseys. We're 0-1 in the other two. Wore the white, wore the maroon, and now it's time to try the black jerseys. I think that, plus Frank in the building, is going to equal the winning combination.
We shall see. 9 innings of baseball, maybe more, like yesterday, about to get underway. Jackson Tier against Andrew Dutton, Panthers against Tigers. First pitch, delivered to Lazera, outside for a ball. Tier, a sophomore, after spending 1 year in Kingsville, stands at 6'2", gets a fastball in there for a strike. And he gets to face someone who can only be described as pesky, and pesky in the best way if you're a Panther fan, as he looks at another ball to take the count to 2-1. He went 2 for 4 in game 1 of this series, came around to score twice. And then yesterday, 1 for 4, but drew 2 walks, drove in a run, and scored a run. So when there is something happening for the Panthers, Dutton is at the center of it. Grounds it to short here, retired for out number 1. A nice defensive play there by Montreza to get Tier off on the right foot.
Absolutely a great start for Jackson Tier. Challenging him with some strikes so far. That's exactly what he's going to want to do. Gets the soft contact and the first out of the game.
Now you have Cam McNearney stepping to the plate, and an absolutely phenomenal performance by him yesterday, both offensively and defensively. Looks at a strike here down the middle. He drove in 3 runs, including the game-winning run. It was a little bunt down the first baseline that no one could hold on to. And then in center field, made a charging play to retire 1 out on the fly ball and immediately threw out Ezra Gore to wrap up a double play and send the Panthers home with at least a series victory, and now looking to pull off a sweep on the road. There are just so many names you look at in this lineup, and McNearney, one that stepped up yesterday. Here, though, cannot get his bat off his shoulders as the breaking ball lands for strike number 3.
Yeah, able to locate that breaking ball into the zone. We saw this a lot with several pitchers yesterday, whether they're going to elevate it or sink it. This one elevated right in the zone, and he can't do anything but just stare at it.
This is what we have heard about Jackson Tier, and we've gotten to see it as we've spent time with the team during the spring training. He has 4 pitches that he loves to mix with. Nothing overpowering in terms of a fastball. Will stay between 87 and 89 typically. But Dave Smith says that he knows how to manage a game, compares it to Clayton Kershaw, and how he'll do the little things right. He'll field his position, he'll keep runners close to the bag on first, and he'll work at a brisk pace to keep the hitters guessing. And right here, gets a strike on Ian Hancock after a ball to put the count at 1-1.
Yeah, and a while back, some of the defenders, mainly Jack Baker, talked about a pitcher working at that brisk pace, or what happens when they slow that tempo down. Leaves the defenders kind of just standing there and waiting for it, where they can get in kind of a rhythm if the pitcher is going a little faster.
Certainly keeps everyone on their toes. Tier trying to complete a 1-2-3 inning, gets Hancock to foul it away towards the home bullpen. Ian Hancock has been relatively quiet in terms of the power side. Trinity pitchers doing a nice job keeping him in the ballpark. No home runs for the Panthers this weekend. Big swing and a foul back into the net. Very surprising for a team that hit 75 home runs a year ago, 4th most in all of Division III.
Yeah, Coach Dave Smith was talking about how we were making a big deal of their running game and asking the coaches about that, and he was saying, I don't know if that's their identity. A strike 3 called there. No, it's not.
I think Tier thought it was strike 3 called. Lazera wanted it as well, but Hancock gets to stand in there. 3-2 the count now. 2-seam fastball away, poked the other way as well, but it'll run out of room for the left fielder there, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, Coach Dave Smith was talking about how part of their identity is being able to hit it over the fence and not just running the bases. But the Tigers have done a great job of limiting that. I've actually been very impressed with their pitching, which was a bit of an issue last season.
The 3-2 on the way again. Might have been ball 4. Hancock, though, having to fight it off. The 3-4 hitters for the Panthers. Hancock followed by Noah Best. Preseason All-Americans, if you ask D3Baseball.com. Lazera setting up inside on Hancock. Can Tier get it there? He can, but another foul ball. Hancock doing a great job to frustrate Tier on some good quality pitches.
Yep, just staying alive, hanging in there. Tier did a great job getting to 2 strikes early. But Hancock just battling back, and that's what you need to do sometimes when the opposing pitcher is throwing with some confidence.
It'll be the 17th pitch of the first inning for Tier. A breaking ball line back up the middle for a base hit. Peterson gets there in time to cut it off, but a 2-out single for Ian Hancock.
Yep, able to battle, hang in there, foul ball after foul ball after foul ball, and eventually you're going to get the pitch you want and turn on it. And able to hit it up the middle for the first hit for the Birmingham-Southern Panthers.
A breaking ball that just catches too much of the plate with 2 strikes, and Hancock knows what to do with it. Keeps the inning going for his shortstop, Noah Best, who himself kept the game going yesterday. He was down to 2 strikes with 2 outs, nobody on, and he doubled to keep the game going and now lifts it to deep center field. But Jack Peterson, right in front of the 400-foot mark, makes the catch for out number 3. Jackson Tier makes a good impression in the first inning in his first start as a Tiger. Now we'll see if the Tiger bats can make some noise. Welcome back to Tiger Network, where we'll get to see lineup number 3 in game number 3 for head coach Tim Scannell and the Tigers. Leading off in left field, Ty Preston. Batting second at second base, Colt Harris. Batting third, homered yesterday, back behind the dish, Nick Lazera. In the cleanup spot, third baseman Christian Holloway. Batting fifth and the designated hitter, Brandon Nelson. Batting sixth at shortstop, Michael Montreza. Batting seventh, you saw him to end that inning, the center fielder, Jack Peterson. At right field and batting eighth, Hunter Neville's getting the start. And batting ninth at first base, Corson Hastings.
Yeah, Hunter Neville's the only addition to this lineup that hasn't been in this weekend. And then another key piece of that lineup, Colt Harris, being moved from the 9-hole to second, hitting towards the top of that order.
It's a Trinity lineup that really woke up yesterday. 14 hits, 6 runs. And they'll get to face the third starting pitcher for Birmingham-Southern, Ricky Harrison, the junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A wide stance on the first base side of the rubber. First pitch, Preston shows bunt and looks at a first pitch strike. Preston pinch hitting yesterday late in the game and getting a base hit. Also got one of just 2 hits on Friday night, so the leadoff hitter today has been someone who's shown productivity. Coach Scannell wanting to get him at the top of this lineup on Sunday afternoon. Although it's still morning in San Antonio, 11:40. 0-2 on the way from Harrison, fouled away towards the hitting tunnel. Ricky Harrison making 10 appearances last year. 9 of those were starts, and he was very good for the Panthers. He went at least 5 innings in 5 of his 9 starts. As this 0-2 pitch wildly off on the breaking ball. But Ricky Harrison was not able to complete the season for Birmingham-Southern, did not appear at the end of the regular season or in the postseason. But now going to the 2023 campaign, looking to get back on track for Coach Weisberg and his BSC Panthers. So 1-2, fouled straight back.
Good job by Ty Preston hanging in there. Second foul ball of this at-bat. Was down 0-2 early. Able to get 3 more pitches out of Ricky Harrison and see if he can get a hit.
Preston fights that one off as well. That was high in the zone. Doing a great job as a leadoff hitter, showing his lineup what is in store from Ricky Harrison. Coach Weisberg says he likes to work in and out. And at his best, he is pounding the strike zone. But towards the end of the year, that's what he struggled with. Such as Josh Learson yesterday, the starter who got the quick hook. Really is the key for the Panthers. Can their pitchers throw enough strikes to make them competitive? We know their hitters can do their part. 1-2 on the way to Preston. Waits back on the breaking ball and sends it past the diving first baseman. A leadoff single for Ty Preston to get the Tigers going.
Yeah, Ty Preston just able to hang in there, foul ball after foul ball. And able to get the breaking ball that hung in the zone. Perfect timing on it, gets it into right field, and the Tigers are off and running.
No better spot for a left-handed hitter than down and in. That is their wheelhouse, and that breaking ball in the perfect spot for Preston to turn on it. Brings up Colt Harris, showing bunt extremely early in this at-bat, then pulls it back, pops out of the glove of Fleming, but Preston not going anywhere quite yet.
And we've seen that back-to-back batters showing bunt on the first pitch. I don't quite know why that is, but I'm sure Coach Scannell has some sort of reasoning why he's doing that to start this game.
It does bring in the third baseman, Truitt, playing even with the grass part of the turf. And there it goes to Truitt, going on to second, turn to first, not in time. Nearly a double play right as we were talking about the defensive positioning. Truitt able to get a good read on this chopper, but Harris fast enough to beat it out to just switch places with Preston.
Yeah, absolutely. Good 90 from Colt Harris, able to beat this one out, keep it to only 1 out, as it was a great double play opportunity for Birmingham.
So Colt Harris, the fielder's choice, to leave it up to Nick Lazero, who had himself an afternoon yesterday, 3 for 5 with a solo home run. takes a first pitch strike on the outside part. And the Tigers may not have won with Frank in the building, but Nick certainly won at the plate. And not to worry, the French Bulldog is back at the ballpark today, giving real meaning to bark at the park as Harris faked the steal, now heads back to first.
As you mentioned, Brian, Nick Lazera, a great day yesterday, getting the first home run of the season for Trinity, and really good at the plate as he normally is, hoping to bring over that runner into scoring position.
He's behind 0-2 as Harrison keeps an eye on Harris. Now goes to Lazera, who slaps it the other way through the 5.5 hole. A base hit for Nick Lazera, and the Tigers have 2 singles in the opening frame to bring up their cleanup hitter today, Christian Holloway.
Great hitting by Lazera, just going to catch the end of his bat, putting it into left field in that gap. This is exactly what he needed to, getting Colt Harris to second so that Holloway can potentially drive him in.
Holloway getting the start, just as he did on Friday night. Only pinch hit yesterday, but someone Coach Gano loves to have in there more days than not, and he'll go the other way. Another single for the Tigers. In to try to score is Harris, and he'll beat the throw. That was not a good one from Stedman. Lazera takes advantage, heads over to third, and these Tigers punching through singles in the first inning to get on top first.
Yeah, everybody making pretty solid contact. Everybody putting it in play, and that's just a really important thing. Advancing the runners, bringing them in to score eventually. And with only 1 out, they have a guy on third with Brandon Nelson up.
Not trying to do too much. These Tiger hitters taking what Harrison is giving them, and it's resulted in 3 hits already, a run. Just 1 away in the bottom of the first. Birmingham-Southern had jumped in front the first 2 games of this series. The Tigers trying to salvage one on a Sunday afternoon. First pitch to Nelson, below the knees for a ball. This is a Trinity Tigers team that only lost 2 in a row once all of last year. As Nelson stares at a ball high. It was a portion middle of the year. They lost to Mary Hardin Baylor, and then they lost to Centenary 10-0 on the road. And it was a real turning point for the Tigers. We'll continue to get to it as the inning and the game continues. A 2-0 here to Nelson. Fired past him. But Trinity lost 10-0 to Centenary, and then they started game 1 of a doubleheader, and they fell behind very early by several runs. And it looked like it could get really ugly over there in Shreveport. But the Tigers were able to battle back, win game 2, and then win game 3 against Centenary. And that really set them on pace. And you don't want to believe me how it set them on pace? Well, they only won 17 in a row after that. So what could have been an ugly 3-game series in Centenary, a 4-game losing streak, turned into the catapult for the 2022 season that went all the way to the World Series as Nelson swings over the top of this one in the dirt. But it just goes to show losing streaks are not very common here in San Antonio, and the Tigers want to get on top of it right away today with this Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah, want to get on top of it, but also getting out of it can be a moment that sparks something great. And we saw that last season, getting all the way to the World Series after winning 17 in a row, like you said.
Michael Montreza will step to the plate with runners on the corners. That one's in the turf, but Fleming keeps it close to him.
That was a pretty great block by Fleming, able to keep it in front of him and stop the runner from getting in.
And just a quick correction, it was 16 in a row, 19 of their last 20 last season, but still a very impressive winning streak. That fastball misses inside to Montreza as Harrison falls behind another Tiger hitter. They've been aggressive early. Holloway swung at the first pitch. Lazera was down 0-2. He slapped his single to left. And now Montreza will get to wait back on a pitch he wants here. Fastball dotted on the outside part. A perfect pitch for Harrison to get back in the count.
Yeah, it's interesting that you pointed out they're swinging early. Did that a lot in game 1. Not a lot of success with it. A lot of ground balls. But today, putting him in play and hitting it really well.
dove late. Montreza able to hold off on it and get the count to 3-1. Lots of movement on that off-speed delivery for Harrison.
Absolutely, a lot of late movement as well, making an impressive take by Montreza. Wanted it, but able to hold up his bat at the last moment.
A check on Holloway at first. Get used to that. We saw a lot of pickoff attempts yesterday. Both teams trying to keep runners at first. Wasn't entirely successful as both teams stealing several bases. But at least the thought is there as Harrison's 3-1 inside to Montreza, and the bases will be loaded with Jack Peterson coming to bat. And Jack Peterson, just the man you want after the game he had last night. 3 hits for him, and he'll look to break it open for the Tigers.
Absolutely. Big moment for Trinity. We saw this yesterday, having the bases loaded in the first inning. They already have a run here, but not able to get anything out of that first inning. And you look back on it, having a run or two there would have been the difference between a win and a loss.
Breaking ball up high to Peterson, who has Lazera at third, Holloway at second, and Montreza at first. Already 1 run across for Trinity, taking the lead in the bottom of the first. Peterson looking to make it even more off of starting pitcher Ricky Harrison. His pitch inside, not going to catch the zone again. Fleming gives him a thumbs up to signal that's okay, but he doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with here, does Harrison. Get a good look there at the junior from Baton Rouge. Behind 2-0 to the Tigers center fielder. Little excuse me swing. Peterson meant to get it out of the way. Instead, it's a foul ball. A break for Harrison to jump back into this count, not fall behind 3-0.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate check swing for Peterson. Would have been 3-0. Hits his bat. Ricky Harrison, up to him to take advantage of that, given a free strike.
Able to lay off of that one. Fleming going towards third, at least making the runner think he would, ends up holding on to the ball. Would have been a dangerous decision with the bases loaded and the third baseman Truitt not ready for it. And now nowhere to put him. 3-1 the count with the bases loaded, 2 away. Peterson should get a pitch to hit, or it'll be ball 4. Which is it? It's ball 4. Peterson tosses his bat towards the dugout, and run number 2 across the score for the Trinity Tigers.
It's a great take by Jack Peterson. Not a very offerable pitch, but able to lay off of it. I was thinking what you were thinking. He's going to get a very good pitch to hit, but able to recognize that this one's going to be low and get an RBI off a walk.
4 hits already for Trinity, 2 runs, and it draws a visit to the mound. Bases remain loaded, and Hunter Neville's ready to step to the plate. But we're seeing more of the patience from these Tiger hitters that we started seeing yesterday as compared to Friday night.
Yeah, I think it's a mix. I think they just have a great feel right now for what they want to hit. And you're seeing the results of it. Bases loaded, already 2 runs in. And Hunter Neville's, he's going to have a great opportunity to potentially blow this game open for Trinity.
And talk about a good time to step into the ball game and step into your career, Hunter Neville's. He has seen some back and forth as a Tiger, came here as an outfielder, then gave pitching a shot, now back as a position player and getting a start on the opening weekend of the season. And he has the bases loaded with 2 away. Looks at a ball outside to start his AB.
Only 1 at-bat last season for Hunter Neville, so this already as many as he had in his entire career. And he will have many more as the season goes along, you'd think.
Hard to believe. Only 1 AB as a senior. But he gets ahead 2-0 here. And if there's one thing we know about Hunter Neville's, he loves to swing and he loves to hit fastballs. One of the best fastball hitters on this team. We'll see if Ricky Harrison goes with that here. He does go with a fastball. It's low. The check on second. Fleming's throw not in time. And I don't know if it's a sign of what Fleming is thinking here, having to fake a throw to third, now trying to pick off the runner at second. Not a big sign of confidence for his pitcher. if he's trying to find other ways to get out of this inning.
Yeah, potentially trying to draw a runner from third into home and fire back. Would have been a crafty play.
The 3-0 misses. Another walk. Back-to-back bases loaded walks by Ricky Harrison. And the merry-go-round continues for the Trinity Tigers. Must be a Casey Musgraves day in town. As the Tigers 3-0 already in the first, and the bases remain loaded.
Yeah, good take by Hunter Nevels. Said he loves to swing, then good patience there, not swinging once in his at-bat, understanding the situation that he might get a free run here.
Corson Hastings takes the ball, and Ricky Harrison has lost the strike zone here.
Yeah, you talked about that being a key for Birmingham, whether their pitchers can just throw enough strikes and not beat themselves. So far, we're not seeing that, but we'll see if Harrison can get just getting out and get out of this inning.
Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt on that close one. Hastings giving a little shrug.
Yeah, he'll take what he can get. We'll see if that's how he can get back into the groove of things.
34 pitches in the first inning alone for Harrison. Hastings sends it into the net foul. This inning started with a Ty Preston single, a Colt Harris single, and a Nick Lazera single. Then it was Christian Holloway who pulled in the first run of the game. Since then, the walks have been the story. Harrison, though, blows that one past Hastings for strike number 3 and limits the damage to just 3. Could have been a whole lot worse, but the Tigers do get 3 across in the bottom of the first to jump in front of the Panthers. We'll take a break on Tiger Network and head to the top of the second inning. Jackson Tier has to be happy. A clean first inning in his first start as a Tiger, and then his offense gets him 3 runs to work with. Finds Trinity up 3-0 with Jack Fleming stepping in to bat. First pitch on the way from Tier, fouled away. Will it stay in play? And it might stay in fair territory. In fact, the wind blows it back. Preston able to get underneath it for a quick out number 1.
Yeah, great job by Tier. And this is what the report on him was. He's going to challenge these hitters with strikes. He does it there and gets a 1-pitch out.
In his words, he says he'd rather the other team beat him than he beat himself. And what that means in his mind, throwing strikes, like you said, Cole, and forcing the ball into play. It's very similar to what we heard about Joey White on Friday night for Birmingham-Southern, and it worked for him. So far, it's so good for the sophomore from San Antonio. Faces the 5th-year senior here, Luke DiPiero. Second pitch outside, evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, we saw Joey White with 6 no-hit innings. A lot of soft contact, a lot of ground balls. And so far, it's been a similar story for Jackson Tier.
Tier dotting the outside corner with ease through the first couple of innings. Putting it right where Lazera's asking for. Ahead 1-2 on DiPiero. Gets it in the turf. DiPiero not chasing.
Seeing that mix on that breaking ball. First time that he's thrown it into the plate today. And we'll see if he uses it in the future, try and get a punchy. So he threw it with 2 strikes there.
Lazera setting up outside. Tier gets it there a little high. DiPiero able to slap it, foul. Count will stay at 2-2 as you hear the Trinity Tower ringing in the background. The 12 o'clock hour means 12 rings of the bell. Tier misses with a breaking ball. And the count driven full by DiPiero. Started on Friday night, then came in yesterday as a pinch hitter, stayed in defensively. He sends it up the middle, gets past the dive of Montreza for a 2-strike hit. So both hits for the Panthers have come with 2 strikes, DiPiero and Hancock, the ones responsible.
Yeah, kind of a give and take when you hit it right up the middle. You're going to see how this ball skips off the mound a little bit. That slows it up a little bit, not quite enough for Montreza to get there in time, but that's where that gap is. And DiPiero does a great job hitting it right through it.
First pitch to Diamontis, a breaking ball lands for a strike. Diamontis played late in the game yesterday at first base, couldn't get the throw home, which let Trinity tie it and send it to another inning. Waves at another breaking ball, falls behind 0-2. At the moment, it felt like it might cost the Panthers the game, but not in their book. They had other plans. The likes of Cam McNerney coming through when it mattered most, and giving this Panther team 2 wins on the road against a top 5 opponent in what is a tremendously difficult schedule. These Panthers getting set to face LaGrange next weekend. As Tier misses with a breaking ball. LaGrange, the number 2 team in Division III this season. And if it sounds familiar to Trinity fans at home, LaGrange, the team that knocked out the Tigers from the College World Series in Iowa. LaGrange beating Trinity twice. Diamontis swinging past a fastball outside. Tier bounces back with a strikeout. But these Panthers, Cole, not messing around, wanting to have a tough non-conference schedule to get them ready for SAA play and their aspirations for much more beyond that.
Yeah, absolutely. Upping that strength of schedule should help them when it's time to figure out who's going to make it into the playoffs. But we talked to Coach Scannell about booking a strong out-of-conference schedule, especially early. You know, do you book a really strong opponent, and does that hurt the confidence of your team, or do you book kind of a cupcake early to help the confidence? And he said it really depends on the type of group. So Coach Weisberg obviously feels that his group definitely can handle the level of competition that they're going to be facing early, which makes sense. 6 of 8 all-region players returning for them.
Stedman bounces it right to where the hit was. This time Montreza shifts in time, and his throw to Hastings is in time as well. Jackson Tier gives up a single, but leaves him at first base as the shortstop cleans up behind him right there on the replay. We're through 1.5 in San Antonio. Trinity 3, Birmingham-Southern 0. The Tigers batted around in the bottom of the first, so their leadoff hitter will still be their leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the second. Ty Preston got it going with a base hit. He'll face Ricky Harrison, who stays in there despite over 30 pitches in that first frame. First one in the second is a ball high.
Yeah, Ricky Harrison, a lot of walks in that inning. Was knocked around a little bit. We'll see how he responds, but definitely wanting to throw more strikes. I know that sounds obvious, but it's just the best way for him to get his confidence back is just to throw it in the zone a few times and then see if he can get it rolling.
He hasn't found the strike zone in this at-bat, falls behind 2-0 on Ty Preston. Preston, the junior, make it from Pearland, Texas. That one does get on the outside corner for the first strike. For those not familiar, Pearland is just a suburb of Houston. And at Trinity, it's a real trick when you're talking to people because it's a two-step question. As the pitch from Harrison misses inside to Ty. First, you have to say, oh, where are you from? And somebody will say Houston. And then you really have to say, okay, but where are you really from? And then they say, oh, Pearland, or oh, the Woodlands, or oh, Sugarland. But not many people know those suburbs unless you're from Texas or around Houston. And so it just ends up that everybody's from Houston. And the Houston native here takes a walk to start the inning. And just like he did last frame, will start at first.
Yes, I found that a lot, figuring out the different types of Houston around campus. I've heard all of those buzzwords, all the suburbs. I think Pearland was actually a new one for me, but definitely Sugarland and the Woodlands. And Katy as well. Shout out to people from Katy that I know.
Shout out to Katy, home of Buc-ee's. Colt Harris, perfect timing. Katy, Texas. Shows bunt, then pulls it back.
Yeah, bringing that third baseman in again, just like he did in his prior at-bat.
And I guess we have to rephrase that. Katy, Texas, home of Buc-ee's and Colt Harris. Long pause and the time called. As Ricky Harrison really trying to get back in rhythm. Gave up 4 hits in the first inning, 3 earned runs. But what really hurt him as well, the 3 walks, and he starts this inning with another one. We are taking a while here in this at-bat. Colt Harris calling time. Ricky Harrison stepping off the rubber as Coach Weisberg came out of the dugout to discuss something with his pitcher. We saw the first call of a new rule that we have to keep an eye on across Division III. As that misses low to Harris. The hitters have to be in the box ready to go in 10 seconds. The pitchers, meanwhile, have to start moving 20 seconds after they have received the ball. And yesterday, for the first time when Luke DiPiero was at the plate for Birmingham-Southern, he was not ready in 10 seconds, so he had a strike called on him. Strike delivered there to Harris. We don't have a clock at the ballpark yet, but as of next year, every single ballpark will have to have a clock displayed. Currently, it's only being kept track of by the umpire with a stopwatch. Just another little wrinkle. Runner going. Preston tries to get his arm in time, and he does. Nice job evading the tag of Dutton. Even though Harris swung through the pitch, a stolen base for Ty Preston.
Yep, able to get going. Who would have thought with these two teams, it'll be Trinity stealing the first base. But that's exactly what happens, is he clearly gets the hand in on time and stays on the bag. Great steal by Ty Preston.
Harris fouls it back to keep the count full.
I think another thing to note, Brian, is eliminates the double play possibility. We saw Colt Harris almost ground into one in the first inning. No fear of that here.
Fleming adjusts his gear at the plate. He has worked hard all weekend, catching all 3 games. Not a very easy thing to do, and both of these catchers doing this, Lazera and Fleming. Nobody works harder on a baseball team than the catcher. You have to know every single pitcher. You have to know the hitter's tendencies on the other team. And you have to sit back there for 9 innings at a time.
Yeah, not to mention the occasional foul ball that you're going to take. Being a catcher's a tough job.
Another tough job is keeping it in front of you as he did there. But for Harrison, all it means is yet another walk, make it 5 base on balls. And the Tigers loading the bases yet again, at least getting there. First and second now taken care of. Lazera will try to keep it going, but will he face Harrison as another visit to the mound on the way? It might be an early exit for the junior.
Yeah, we've seen the quick hook from Coach Weisberg already, and it'll be another one. Not afraid to pull Josh Learison, and Ricky Harrison, no different here in the second inning.
Yeah, he doesn't want to risk anything going through this lineup a second time. They're very familiar with him with all the pitches he's thrown. You see 49, the number listed on your screen. Trinity up 3, runners on first and second, nobody out. Lazera coming to bat. We'll take a quick break as the new Panther pitcher warms up. Early called to the bullpen by Birmingham-Southern. The call answered by Carter Tyus, the sophomore from Vestavia Hills, Alabama. He enters into a jam of a jam. Nick Lazera, the number 3 hitter for Trinity, will have Ty Preston at second, Colt Harris at first, and nobody away in the bottom of the second. Trinity already up 3 and looking to make it more. And Lazera squaring to bunt with nobody out. Swings it back. Preston aware of the back throw.
Yeah,
I'd be very surprised to see Lazera bunt here, but you never know. All the runs you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an opportunity to advance both of the runners into scoring position or further scoring position for Ty Preston. But with the way Nick Lazera can hit and with the way Coach Scannell talks about his hitting abilities, I'd be surprised if he actually drops down the bunt.
Not showing bunt here. Instead, a massive swing. Another one deep to right. 3-run homer for Nick Lazera. Why bunt when you can drive home 3 with a homer?
We were talking about catchers a lot before the break, Brian, so it's only fitting that Nick Lazera is going to be the one to double the Tiger lead and put him up 6. Frank is in the building again. And the 2 games he's been here have been the 2 games he's hit a home run. Able to blow this game open for Trinity. Up 6 runs now. Gets a breaking ball that's just going to hang in the middle of the zone, and you do not want to make that mistake when the power of Nick Lazera is up to bat.
Yet again, we warned you, don't park in right field when Nick Lazera's in the lineup. And just like that, the lead doubled up to 6-0 as the Trinity bats alive and well.
Yeah, I think my sweet mate parked his truck out there. So Blake, you might want to check on that. I don't know if the tree kept you safe from that.
Not many are safe from the wrath of Nick Lazera. 2 for 2 with a 3-run homer. That's after a 3 for 5 showing last night. Another home run as well. So Nick Lazera, an amazing start to the 2023 season. Christian Holloway tries to send it out there, but it'll stay in the ballpark. McNearney underneath it for the first out of the inning. But a rude awakening for Carter Tyus to give up 3 runs on just 1 swing.
Absolutely not the result you want when you're expected to get out of this jam. The tough position he was put in with already a runner in scoring position, but definitely difficult giving up the 3 runs on the 1 swing. But Trinity, important to not get complacent. Did Nick Lazera blow the game open with 6? Yeah, I would consider it that way. But Birmingham-Southern, definitely the offense to come back and make this interesting.
And an eerily similar start to Game 2 of the Super Regional in Game 3 of this series. And it only is fitting because Carter Tyus was the one who started Game 2 of that Super Regional. Drops in a changeup there for a strike. In Game 2 of that Super Regional in Birmingham last year, the Panthers trailed 7-0. The Tigers really running away with it early, but then the Panthers saying not so fast. They tied it up at 8 and forced Trinity to score 1 run in the 8th and 5 in the 9th to earn a trip to the World Series. But it was Carter Tyus who started that game, when an inning and a third, gave up 3 runs, 1 of which were earned, and really set the Tiger offense in motion, as he has done here this afternoon.
Yeah, trusted him to get out of that one. This is going to be grounded, and an easy play made there to get the 2nd out of the inning on Holloway. But you got to wonder why the decision was made to go to him knowing that information. Maybe a chance to bounce back, some trust in him. But Trinity, even though there are a lot of new bats in this lineup, still know him from that series.
For many Panthers, it's been a weekend full of revenge. Davis Williams, Connor Adams doing phenomenally out of the bullpen. Joey White nearly throwing a no-hitter on Friday night. And of course, the Panther hitters having success throughout these games. But Carter Tyus running into the buzzsaw that is Nick Lazera right now, as Michael Montreza will step to the plate. Nobody on, 2 outs, as Tyus has bounced back from that homer to retire Holloway and Nelson. Off-speed pitch touches the corner for a strike, so Montreza behind 0-2. But after no runs on Friday and a heartbreaking loss yesterday, the Tigers have to love this start to this game. Montreza sending it the other way, the right fielder giving chase and getting there in time. Nice job of Stedman to run down that one for the 3rd out of the inning. But Nick Lazera pops one, a 3-run shot to double up the Trinity lead. It is 6-0 Tigers headed to the 3rd. I'd say Jackson Tier is very happy to be a Trinity Tiger when he sees his offense put up 6 runs in just 2 innings alone. He'll start off the 3rd inning with a ball But Jackson Tier, the San Antonio kid, has plenty of room to work with as he faces the number 9 hitter, Ty Truitt. Breaking ball misses the top of the zone. So Truitt ahead 2-1. You mentioned it earlier, Cole. The strategy of Tier really wanting to attack the strike zone, make the hitters beat him instead of walking them. And Truitt here able to turn around on a fastball and get a single into left, a wide turn of first. A nice job of him turning the lineup over with a single, but was just getting ready to say Tier seems perfectly suited in this situation to throw strikes, not mess around with a 6-run lead, and really force Birmingham-Southern to earn their way back into this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it earlier. He wants to make them beat him, and they're going to have to do that to chip away at this deficit, but a good start there getting the base hit.
First pitch to Dutton, a strike high. It's an offense that can turn things around in the strike of a lightning bolt. So Tier has to be careful, gets ahead 0-2 with a breaking ball.
Yeah, no messing around with these hitters. Not checking on him at first right now. Trusting that Dutton can get him in the scoring position probably, if he's not going to steal here.
The choice on 0-2, a fastball high and away. The 1-2 from Tier. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Dutton frozen on that breaking ball that had just missed outside. And now Tier able to bring it back closer for the strikeout.
Yeah, Jackson Tier able to work the outside portion of that zone. And a big strikeout there. We know they'd love to put Dutton at the top of the lineup to bring those 7, 8, 9 guys in. As Tier's going to check on him at first. More likely to try and manufacture something now that Dutton Dutton struck out.
For Tier, strikeout number 3. McNearney drops down a bunt. It'll be foul. He got a perfect one down the first baseline yesterday to win the game. This time trying to push it down the third baseline. Would have been a hit if it stayed fair, but he'll have to make his way back into the box.
Yeah, this team's shown some real skill at bunting, unfortunately for him. Just going to trickle across that foul line, and he'll have to go back to the box.
Umpire holding everyone together as the fielders get back into position. Now Tier ready to fire. He'll check on the runner Truitt. This is part of Tier's game. It goes along with that Dave Smith comment of managing a game in the form of Clayton Kershaw. Keeping an eye on those runners at first, fielding your position, throwing a lot of strikes. Misses with a ball high here to McNearney, and the comparison to Kershaw, not just with the managing of the game, but the idea of Kershaw now deep into his career, not the same pitcher he was, not the same electric stuff, but he still nearly always has an ERA in the 2s or the 3s. So Dave Smith saying, you might not see the best velocity, the best stuff from Jackson Tier, but he knows how to win a game. And thus far, 2 scoreless innings, 3 strikeouts, doing a nice job of keeping the Birmingham-Southern lineup quiet.
And he's almost the perfect pitcher against this potent lineup. Think about it, you're doing all the small things well. This fouls that one off. Checking on the runners at the right times, trying to limit the effect that they have on the bases. Almost the perfect pitcher to go against these Panthers.
On that last foul ball, McNearney becoming more familiar with the curveball. It hung up there from Tier, so we'll see if he tries to get it lower or go with something else. It is a slider in the turf. Lazera can't find it. The runner will advance to second, and McNearney will have to go back to the dugout. Can't take first since it was occupied. So a second strikeout, second out of the inning, but the runner does advance into scoring position ahead of Hancock coming to bat.
Yeah, getting the strikeout there. And unfortunately, the runner able to advance to second. Let's see if Birmingham can drive something in to get at least one back here.
We've seen the curveball a ton in these first few innings. Really, the first time we saw that slider, and McNearney could not hang on to it. There is the more looping breaking ball that lands for a strike. And so we are seeing it, the mix of 4 pitches. Tier not relying on any one pitch to get outs. Looking for a 3rd consecutive scoreless inning. Ty Truitt leading off the inning with a single, but back-to-back Ks for Tier. Montreza, a back pick, a great throw, nearly gets him.
Really close there, Brian. We'll get the replay here. Does definitely get back in time, but maybe able to shorten that lead, as that was a close call.
Montreza remains right behind Truitt, now backs off as the pitch is delivered. A strike down the middle. 0-2 the count on the designated hitter.
Yeah, a chance to put this one away for Jackson Tier. Panthers slowly moving that runner across the base pads, trying to get at least one back. We'll see if he can shut it down or not.
Lazera sets up outside. Tier glances towards second, then misses away. Have some pitches to work with here. Up 0-2, now it's 1-2. Tier ready to deal. The breaking ball gets a chopper up the middle. It'll be Harris takes it. Safe is the call. Truitt coming around to home. The throw not in time. Truitt gets underneath the tag of Lazera. And the first run of the game comes across for BSC as Truitt with aware base running to score from second on an infield hit.
Yeah, the turf's going to make this one bounce pretty high. Colt Harris coming up to try and make the play. Really close, probably safe. Good awareness by Hastings to try and get it back, but a tag not implanted in time. And the first run will score for the Birmingham-Southern Panthers.
Best looks at a strike. That split second of hesitation where Hastings lifted the ball to show the umpire that it maybe was an out seemed to be enough to allow Truitt to get underneath the throw. Now another throw to first, this time from Lazera. So we're seeing all sorts of attempts on the base paths. We've already seen Fleming try to pick off second, attempted at third before holding it himself. A throw from first to home and a throw from home to first. You never know what you'll find out at the ballpark. As Tier's 0-2, a fastball misses out.
See what Tier brings up here. Try and get out of this inning. Still have to be aware of the base runner at first.
Hancock not going anywhere. The pitch just off the corner.
Yeah, not getting that call on the outside edge of the plate. Maybe trying to expand the strike zone, see what he can get. Trying to get Best looking, able to take it there.
Goes inside on Best this time, underneath his hands. He lays off. Brings the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nope, make it a full count.
This is great awareness by Noah Best. Very tempting to try and foul off those pitches, being down to 2 strikes. Able to work 3 consecutive balls.
The 3-2 pitch grounded to third. Holloway gathers on to first for the third out of the inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground ball out. Sandwiched in between there, though, an RBI single by Ian Hancock. It was an infield single that allowed the runner to score all the way from second. Tigers holding on to a 6-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the third. It's a cloudy day in San Antonio, but all sunshine for the Trinity Tigers offense. 6 runs through 2 innings. Jack Peterson, one of those who drew a bases-loaded walk, drove in a run after 3 hits yesterday. He has been on a roll. Looks at a first pitch breaking ball, top of the zone.
Yeah, able to work that RBI today off the walk, an important part of the game yesterday as well. It's always nice to have an impact player towards the bottom of the order like that.
Swings past a changeup in the turf. So he falls behind 0-2, something he did struggle with last year in the at-bats he got. Struck out 16 times in 45 at-bats, but this year has been working on making more contact, lays off a ball outside and high.
Jack Peterson, one of the few Tigers who started more than 10 games last season, close to 30.
He does swing past this one, can't tip it. Fleming takes care of it off the bounce, and Peterson with the strikeout.
Yeah, just a diving breaking ball, not able to get a piece of it. And good awareness by the catcher, able to throw him out after he couldn't hang on to it.
You could really see the 6'2" frame of Tyus with his over-the-top delivery, causing problems for Peterson as that ball dove straight down, and it just kept going until the swing was past it. Hunter Nevels fouls back a strike after taking a ball. You get a good look at the flags at the end of your screen. They're blowing out to left currently. They've been blowing around though today, all sorts of directions. And Hunter Nevels will give it a shot out there. Wind not enough to carry it out of here, however. McNearney there for the second out of the inning.
Able to make quick work of Hunter Nevels. Just not able to get enough on it. Able to make the out in center field, but kind of calming it down for Birmingham-Southern. The explosive inning that Trinity had last time. Just trying to stabilize it, keep the deficit, and see if they can work their way back into this game.
I think stabilizing, a perfect word to use. After giving up 6 runs, Tyus able to get out of the inning with no further damage. And then even if it's just 1 run, mentally seeing 1 compared to 0 on the board has to give the Panthers confidence that if they get 1, 2, 3 here and there, they'll be right back in this game. So the Tiger offense cannot let up. They have to continue being aggressive.
Absolutely, and Coach Weisberg pointed out this is a veteran group that never believes they're out of a game.
Why would you believe you're out of a game when you average 9.6 runs a game? It was the story of the season. Even when the starting pitching wasn't consistent enough to give them the innings they needed, the Panthers offense able to fight back and win a total of 41 games. 41-10 was the record for Birmingham-Southern, sweeping through SAA play with just 3 losses compared to 18 wins. And they were tough to beat at home. 24-6, but half of those 6 losses at the hands of these Trinity Tigers. Hastings fouls it back, down 0-2, but fighting to stay alive.
Yep, hanging in there, got down 0-2 early. I believe that's the second or third pitch in this at-bat. He's fouled off. Just hanging around and see if he can get on base, keep this inning going.
That one nearly hits Hastings. He'll keep his at-bat going. For Trinity last year, it didn't start all rosy and perfect. They were 5-5 as Hastings takes a breaking ball off the corner. 5-5, improved to 10-5, but then they went with that 2-game losing streak that we highlighted against UMHB and Centenary before winning 16 in a row. And so despite this 0-2 start, lots of reason to have optimism and hope for a great 2023 campaign. As Hastings flies out to right field, Stedman gets it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Carter Tyus keeps the score at 6-1 Trinity. Panthers coming to bat, top of the 4th. For the first time all game, the Trinity offense kept off the board, will allow Birmingham-Southern to keep clawing back into this one. They trail by 5 as Jackson Tier takes the mound to start the 4th. Jack Fleming will lead things off, looks at a fastball for a strike. Jackson Tier, the San Antonio kid, Johnson High School. Shout out to any Jaguar fans tuning in. Our very own Ryan Cedillo, a Jaguar fan. But you know, getting to meet Jackson, mentioned he didn't come to Trinity until this January, so he hasn't been around long, and had a conversation with him at first, but it wasn't until I heard him talking to someone else and describing a location in San Antonio by using the term just north of Loop 1604 that I knew he really was a San Antonian. If you are describing locations based off Loop 410 or Loop 1604, you know you're really from the Alamo City. And I know that's something you've had to learn, Cole.
Yeah, absolutely. I am not a real San Antonian. I'm not a San Antonian at all. I just came here from Colorado, but learning the language of how the people here describe where they are, and that was a new one I learned talking to him.
Tier forcing an easy ground ball to Harris, sends it over to first for the first out of the inning. And as we got to meet Tier more, we really had to put him to the test. Okay, you describe locations with the loops, but how much of a San Antonian really are you? So we asked, favorite barbecue spot? Smoky Moe's. Favorite Mexican restaurant? Some very good answers here. La Gloria, El Jaro de Arturo. And then where you really see how a person is, favorite breakfast taco. And he could not have been more spot on, folks. Bill Miller's potato, egg, and cheese. That's all I need to hear from Jackson Tier to know that he is 2-1-0 at the core. Puro San Antonio.
Yes, he has the Brian Yancelson seal of approval. Authentic San Antonian. Jackson Tier, congratulations.
There's a couple important factors in that answer, though. First, he called it Bill Miller's, which if you are not from San Antonio, you may have no idea what we're talking about. Bill Miller's, a barbecue restaurant right near campus, but it's technically spelled Bill Miller, but it just makes common sense to call it Bill Miller's with the possessive apostrophe and an S. And he called it like that, so we knew we could trust him. And then the second part of that is saying potato, egg, and cheese is the favorite taco. It just kept getting better and better as he talked. Wanted to keep on going with those answers because he was nailing every one.
Absolutely. If you had the answer sheet right in front of him, got 100% on the test, and it makes sense. Lived in San Antonio, coming back home to play baseball.
He has been so happy at that point of it. He said his family now gets to see him play. He feels very much at home, even though Johnson, a decent drive away from downtown San Antonio, where we're at Trinity's campus. A lot closer than Kingsville, that's for sure, where he spent his first year. He aced our test, and so far acing the test of his first start. Takes the count full here to Luke DiPiero, but working with a 5-run lead. Jackson Tier last year made 12 appearances for A&M Kingsville. Prepares his full count delivery. DiPiero lines it, and Harris can't quite get in front of it. A tough hop off this turf. DiPiero makes an attempt at second, then slowly backtracks to first, as that will likely be called a base hit with how hard it was hit off the bat.
Yeah, really strong contact off the bat here, and it's just gonna, the bounce is just gonna catch Colt Harris by surprise, not able to field it. And either way, a base runner for the Birmingham-Southern Panthers.
Breaking ball misses to Diamantis. For Tier so far, 4 hits, 1 earned run. He has 4 strikeouts and no walks, which is exactly the scouting report. This time the breaking ball does get in the zone. It'll go out of play, foul. If you look at how he did at A&M Kingsville, he had a 7.5 ERA, not what you're looking for out of the bullpen. But if you look underneath the numbers a little bit, 18 innings thrown, just 5 walks. And what that tells you, he is doing what he wants. He is staying in the zone and forcing the other team to earn their way across home plate.
Absolutely. Stays in the zone, like you said. Also a good mix of pitches. We highlighted it. He has about 4 different pitches. I think you've seen all of them today. And he intermixes them. He uses them very effectively. And you're seeing it so far, holding this potent Birmingham-Southern offense. Just one run so far.
It's a Birmingham-Southern offense that scored single-digit runs just 9 times last year, and they've already been held to that twice this series. And so despite the 2 wins, the Trinity Tigers have been right there with them every step of the way as Diamantes shoots it the other way. Shortstop was shaded over to second, so it'll head into left field for a single. Back-to-back base runners reaching for the Panthers as Eli Stedman will look to bring a couple home.
And once again, we see it from Diamantes, just going to come off the end of the bat, find that gap, but really it's the pitches before, staying alive. Tiered got to 2 strikes pretty early in the at-bat, able to stay in the box and battle and eventually find the pitch that he wants to hit.
They did end up calling that DiPiero contact an error on Harris, which I think is a tough break for the second baseman. So instead of back-to-back singles, they're calling it an error and then a single that allows 2 Panthers on base.
Yeah, I think a tough break for Colt Harris. That would have been a tough play for him to make. Bounce kind of caught him by surprise pretty late when he was pretty much already on top of it. But either way, an error charged to the second baseman.
Stedman stares at one outside, ball 1, after he fouled the first one. Stedman, the younger brother of Cole Stedman, the all-region player from a year ago, trying to make his own name in Birmingham-Southern baseball history. Tier, you see, has to throw it. We talked about it yesterday. Even though there was no shot at getting him, once he stepped off and made an attempt to second, you have to throw the ball or else it'll be called a balk. Good awareness by him to make that throw and not let the runners move into scoring position for both of them as a great breaking ball gets Stedman over the top.
Able to go low with that curveball and get this to 2 strikes. Jackson Tier had Diamantes to 2 strikes. We'll see if he can finish off Stedman and get the second out of this inning.
Diamantes took a good 2-strike approach to push it into left field. We'll see what Stedman does. Holds back on that one in the turf. Lazera able to stay in front.
He went for that low breaking ball again, trying to use that as a strikeout pitch. Good job by Stedman, able to take it, stay alive, and see if he can drive in some more Birmingham runs.
DiPiero stays put. Ground ball will go to shortstop Montreza. Harris, Hastings, 6-4-3 double play. Just what Jackson Tier needed to get out of the 4th inning unscathed.
Absolutely, Brian. He'll get that breakfast taco with a side of a double play. Able to get the grounder right up the middle, and the defense does great work behind him. It's going to take potentially an awkward bounce off the mound, but no problem for Montreza. And the one time I don't say that he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning is the time when he actually is.
Maybe a lesson learned for the future, but it's what you get when you have a contact pitcher. Yes, you have 5 hits for Birmingham-Southern, but a lot of it has been pretty soft contact. But when you have someone that keeps it in the zone and gets contact, you see a double play can happen because the defense is ready to go, ready to turn the double play. So after 4.5 here, Trinity 6, Birmingham-Southern 1. Jackson Tier doing his job on the mound, keeping Birmingham-Southern to just 1 run on the day. Ty Preston will step up for the 3rd time, looks at a first pitch strike. He is 1 for 1, but he has come around to score twice because he also earned a walk. It has been a good omen for the Tigers. If Preston reaches base, they score. He'll lift this one to center field. Plenty of room for McNearney. And Tyus has really settled in since giving up that 3-run shot to Lazera.
Yeah, absolutely getting a lot of quick outs. Let's hope that the Tigers aren't relying on that good omen. Ty Preston reaching. Let's see if they can add on here because they're going to need to. Birmingham-Southern, it's possible that they're held to a few runs, but I find it difficult to believe that they're not going to add on a few more as this game goes along.
First pitch misses to Colt Harris, also coming around to score twice today, a base hit and a walk. That one misses inside to the second baseman. It was Ricky Harrison who got the start for Birmingham-Southern. He went just 1 inning, gave up 5 runs because he walked 5 and gave up 4 hits. Coach Weisberg pulling him in that second inning, and then, boom, Tyus comes into the game. Lazera, a 3-run homer to widen the gap between the Panthers and the Tigers.
I think that's a key difference in the game between yesterday and today. Both starting pitchers getting the quick hook, as he's going to lose him here with a high ball 4. Both starting pitchers getting the quick hook. McCown able to stop, able to hold it down. Trinity able to get some runs off of Learson, but McCown able to limit it to just 2 for a while there. And Titus gives up the 3-run shot, and Trinity up 6-0 at one point in this game.
What it does for Tyus, it forces him to pitch to Nick Lazera. Would have wanted to have him at the plate with no one on. Instead, that 4-pitch walk to Harris gives Lazera more and more opportunities to keep driving in runs. It is looking like it is going to be the year of Lazera. 2 home runs already in just 3 games. When you're out here at practice, when you're at batting practice, any glimpse that you get of Lazera, it becomes clear very quickly. Everything he hits is hard. There is no soft contact coming off his bat. It is almost consistently up the middle, the other way, and it is line drive after line drive. Really hard to believe that he is only a sophomore. Takes one in a similar spot to where he drove that home run out of yesterday, low and inside, that wheelhouse for the left-handed hitter. When we talk about good omens, Cole, a good omen for Trinity to know that Nick Lazera has 3 more years in the maroon and white.
Absolutely. Anytime you get a bat like that, definitely want to keep him in the lineup for a long time. Good awareness by Lazera there, telling the runner to stay. Batter communicating that to the runner at first, saying that that ball didn't get far enough away from the catcher.
And if you're the Tigers, you know that catcher Tyler Pettit will be back sooner rather than later. And you have to believe Lazera will be in the lineup alongside him as he takes ball 4 high, earning a 2nd consecutive walk. But when Pettit is back, he and Lazera will spend a lot of time switching back and forth with who is catching. But with both of those bats in the lineup, you really solidify the center of the starting 9, and it really fills out the rest of the gaps because all of a sudden you have 2 power hitters at the heart of everything. There's nowhere to pitch around, and it shows that this weekend has been tough for Trinity, but there's a lot of hope for what's to come after playing a top 5 team really tough and knowing what you're about to get back in Tyler Pettit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough to reach your offensive potential when you're missing a bat like Tyler Pettit, but we've seen a lot of offense from them in these last 2 games. Didn't really get it going in game 1. We saw them find their game in game 2 and keep it going into game 3, and Nick Lazera has been a huge part of that so far today and yesterday.
You're already missing 5 everyday starters who graduated or went to other schools, and then you add Pettit and his absence. That's 6 everyday starters, 6 of 9 that are not in there for Trinity. So you have to imagine that they're going to struggle early on offensively, but these new guys getting the opportunities, and they're starting to show up in just game 3. Holloway grounding it to third. Truitt, a heads-up play, stepping on the bag making the throw to first, a double play, unconventionally a 5-3 double play. That really helps out Tyus to wrap up the bottom of the fourth. And will keep his Panthers within 5. Solid defensive play there by the Panthers.
Absolutely, you said it, the awareness to step on the bag, not just having to throw to second and make that long play, realizing you have the force right next to you and taking it right there.
So the Tigers will hold on to their 6-1 lead as we head to the top of the 5th. We get a beautiful look at downtown San Antonio, the Tower of the Americas. The 7th largest city in the country. We've already highlighted our great city of San Antonio today, but I want to ask you, Cole, you said you're new to here. Now, have you been to Birmingham, Alabama ever?
I have not been to Birmingham.
Well, I have also never been to Birmingham. I have been to Montgomery, caught a Biscuits game there. Great environment for a AA baseball game. I've been to Tuscaloosa, the home of the University of Alabama, been to Auburn as well. Never had the pleasure of going to Birmingham, however. But do you have any guesses as to what the nickname is of Birmingham?
Should I pretend that I don't know what it is based off of our meetings, or?
I don't know. You tell me. What is the nickname for the city of Birmingham?
The nickname for the city is called the Magic City.
The Magic City, Birmingham, Alabama. Would you know it's the Magic City? I didn't know that before being at Trinity and researching not only for baseball but for football, getting to face the Panthers over there on the gridiron as well, and got to learn that the Magic City was given to Birmingham because of high population growth, great industrial production in the South at the time, and so it was given the nickname the Magic City because of all that was hustling and bustling in the center of Alabama.
That's really interesting. I did not know that before you told me that you were going to say that, and it's just great how you get to dive into the other school, where they're from, and learning a lot about a new city we've never been to.
First pitch, swinging strike by Truitt. Jackson Tier still on the mound. The other nickname, though, for the city of Birmingham is the one that is really fitting for the Birmingham-Southern Panthers. You see their black and gold uniforms, wearing a beautiful cream-colored uniform today. Birmingham has also been known as the Pittsburgh of the South. Why Pittsburgh of the South? Well, because of their steel manufacturing industry, Birmingham gained that nickname as the Pittsburgh of the South. And the black and gold, very reminiscent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates, Penguins, and Steelers all donning the black and gold from there. It's very interesting that they took the uniform concept and embraced that nickname.
We'll have to certainly make a trip to Birmingham one of these days. Jackson Tier, one of very few guys on this team that has not made the trip to Birmingham since he is new. But he is dealing with Birmingham-Southern in his own way. A ground ball to Holloway, long throw on to first, but Hastings stretches out to retire the first out of the inning. An important one, getting the number 9 hitter ahead of the top of the order for BSC.
Yeah, and that's been a real key. When Birmingham gets their 7 through 9 on the base pads, they've been able to drive them in a lot, and able to neutralize that threat has been pretty key in limiting the amount of runs they're able to get.
First pitch swinging, chops it foul, does Dutton.
Yeah, Andrew Dutton, such a dangerous hitter. Most of them are in this lineup, but him especially. That's why he hits at the top of it. Putting him on with nobody on, a really key part of this game.
An extremely high compliment given by Coach Jan Weisberg, head coach of Birmingham-Southern, to Andrew Dutton when he said he makes them go. And I think we have all seen how he makes them go. If he gets on, more often than not, he is coming around to score with the big bats located behind him. Looks at a ball here to bring the count to 2-2, but he's almost like a warning sign for any opponent, saying, you're about to enter a very dangerous zone. And he himself, extremely dangerous, hitting nearly 400 a year ago, gets underneath this one, sends it to right field. Plenty of room to make the catch there. Hunter Nevels dealing with the windy conditions today, but no problem for the second out of the inning. And Tier, as advertised, putting the ball into play and getting outs thanks to his defense.
Yep, using that defense very similar to what we saw out of game 1 from Joey White. Getting a lot of soft contact, getting flyouts, getting groundouts, just letting the defense play behind you. It was effective for Joey White, and it's been effective for Jackson Tier today.
Gets behind McNearney, 1-0 here. McNearney puts good wood on this one, but charging in is Jack Peterson to make the third out of the inning. A 1-2-3 frame for Jackson Tier. He has found his groove in San Antonio. Tigers up 6-1, headed to the bottom of the 5th. The Trinity Tower once again ringing at the 1 o'clock hour. We're an hour and a half past first pitch as Tyus' first pitch in this inning, a strike to Brandon Nelson. Really steadied the ship for Birmingham-Southern. 3 innings thus far, just 1 run and 2 walks allowed. Of course, the home run he gave up to Nick Lazera. That 1 run counting off of him to Lazera, but the 2 runners that were on going against the starter Harrison. So it looks like a much cleaner line for Tyus, and it really reflects how he's done, keeping the Trinity lineup quiet since that 2nd inning.
Yeah, I think so. He's kind of steadied it a little bit. He inherited 2 runners and gave up the home run, so really only 1 mistake from him, though. He's gotten a lot of very clean, efficient outs, and I think that he's really neutralized. I mean, Trinity was on pace to win this game 27-0 at one point, and it's still 6-1, so he's done a good job steadying the ship.
Yeah, we don't see many 27-0s around here. Always expect these teams to keep it close. Montreza shows bunt, then pulls it back as the strike goes in there for the start of this at-bat. If you don't believe us when we say these teams keep it close, just look at their all-time record against one another. Montreza swinging it up the middle. A base hit will drop in for him. He keeps his hot bat alive. 3 hits yesterday, now 1 today. But with the 2 wins this weekend, Birmingham-Southern and Trinity 6-6 all time. Going back to their days when they were in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference together. Then as of 2013, Birmingham-Southern moving over to the Southern Athletic Association. No longer playing every year in conference, but Coach Scannell, Coach Weisberg keeping the relationship very close. And these teams continue to battle. And 6-6, I mean, how much closer can it get?
Yeah, you said this one wasn't a rubber match anymore. This is for it all in terms of that, who's going to have a winning record against the other team. But a lot of the Trinity personnel, the pitchers we talked to, the coaches, they all talked about the respect that they have for this rivalry. It's not a, oh, I hate your guts rivalry. As he drops down the bunt there.
And he's safe. The first base umpire making the emphatic call. Peterson dropping down a beauty of a bunt. Follows up the single of Montreza, and the Tigers have something going once again in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, we'll get to the type of rivalry these guys have in a little bit, but a perfectly executed bunt. As you're going to see the replay here, whether he was safe or not, and he definitely was, but able to dribble that bunt right down the third base line. Nobody on for him, bunting to reach, and does so perfectly there.
Excellent camera work. Thank you so much. We have those cameras up on the roof, and they are tracking every play to bring you the best quality broadcast.
I wanted to get back to my point about the type of rivalry that these two teams have. 6-6 all time. And they play each other because of the respect that they have for each other's programs. Coach Weisberg talked about Trinity as kind of a goal for his program to reach back in, I think, 2007 when he had to build up the entire thing all over again. And now being in the same class as Trinity, playing in important games against one another. And all of Trinity talking about just the respect they have for their program and how they do things. And they definitely want to keep this relationship going. And I think it's good that they play each other.
That's going to be a balk, as we've talked about it all weekend long. Carter Tyus making the move to second, failed to throw. And the new rule in Division III is he has to throw it if he picks off. And so the runners will mosey on over to second and third. And just like that, the Tigers with 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, first time we've seen this instituted. We saw Jackson Tier turn around and throw it meaninglessly, even though he knew he wasn't going to get the runner. Couldn't get Montreza there, but makes the mistake of hanging on to it. And now the Tigers have 2 runners in scoring position.
Breaking ball nowhere close to the zone on Nevels, and Tyus a little rattled here, giving up 2 singles in the inning. Now that pickoff that goes awry for him. Has to settle back in to prevent the game from really getting away from his Panthers. The 2-1 count on the way to Hunter Nevels. Here he does throw behind Peterson. Not quite sure why he's trying to get Peterson, because there's a runner on third. Peterson not really going anywhere, and there's 1 out. But I think that's another sign that Ty is a little shaken up here. We'll see if Hunter Nevels can take advantage of it. Dead red hitter has a hitter's count. Waits back, but not enough, just in front of that breaking ball.
Yeah, good job getting the 2 strikes. Wanted to correct myself earlier. I said Peterson was bunting to reach. Montreza was on first, so bunting to get him over, but reaches anyways. But now 2 runners in scoring position for the Tigers. We'll see if Hunter Nevels can blow this thing open.
He will not be able to. Another off-speed delivery by Tyus strikes him out. Good recovery by number 34. After the balk put 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out, he keeps it out of play before a visit to the mound here. Will this be the end of the road for Carter Tyus? It will. The ball handed to Coach Weisberg with runners on second and third. Trinity up 6-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. But we'll stick around here on Tiger Network. So much great information to talk about. Really thankful to both coaches, both head coaches, Tim Scannell, Jan Weisberg, for talking to us on Tiger Network ahead of this series. Getting to talk to all sorts of players as well. Really honored to bring you a quality broadcast that is full of information on both sides to make it as enjoyable as possible for everyone tuning in around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to share the stories from both sides, and really grateful to the coaches for giving us that inside knowledge and access so that we can really present the best broadcast we can to everybody watching, because that's really what it is. It's about entertainment. It's about information. Just trying to share the stories of the guys playing.
And we really appreciate the patience of everyone at home. We know Friday we were having some technical issues, didn't have all of our cameras in order. The scoreboard wasn't quite working at first. As a reminder, we've had a big historic weekend on Trinity University's campus. Vanessa Beasley being inaugurated as the very first female president in school history, a school that has been around 153 years. And so on Friday night, they had an inauguration concert. Yesterday, the investiture in Laurie Auditorium. At the same time, 4 basketball games happening inside Calgar Gym, and we broadcast those as well. Reed Rosales doing an excellent job broadcasting those games. 4 Trinity victories over Austin College and Dallas. And here we are at the baseball diamond calling Trinity baseball. So it's been a jam-packed weekend, doing the best we can, and we are thrilled that we have been able to bring every second of the action to you at home.
Absolutely. You said it about Reed doing a great job calling the games on his own with basketball. Should definitely give that a listen when you can. But a really important weekend here at Tiger Network. We're happy to bring all of this to you at home.
It's that time of year where everything starts to overlap with each other. You've got the winter sports of swimming and diving and basketball coming to an end, but you've got softball, baseball, tennis, track and field, golf, just everything happening in the spring. That's getting going. And it's been a really great weekend. If you're a Trinity Tiger fan, the swimming and diving teams, both the men and the women, bringing home a Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference championship. Congratulations to the swimming and diving teams. I already mentioned those basketball teams winning their games. Softball with a couple of close losses up in Abilene to Hardin-Simmons and McMurray. They're on their way back home. Tennis has had some really difficult matchups with Division I opponents taking them to the wire. And so wherever you look on Trinity's brick-layered campus, there is something exciting going on, and we're lucky to be at the heart of it. And we're at the heart of the game here as well, as Charlie Horn has taken over, and he'll face the toughest pinch hitter you could probably draw up. Ezra Gore has not been in the starting lineup today, but will be called up off the bench to replace Corson Hastings and face the freshman from Germantown, Tennessee. How about a collegiate debut for you, Charlie Horn? Faced one of the toughest hitters in the country in Ezra Gore. He falls behind 1-0 with runners on second and third, 2 out. And Ezra Gore lifts it the other way. McNearney giving chase and gets there in time. As Charlie Horn does his job, an impressive quick out of the bullpen.
Yeah, made quick work of what you said. What you correctly said was a very tough pinch hitter in Ezra Gore, one of the toughest that Trinity can draw up for him. The main thing that Coach Weisberg said about the freshman, Charlie Horn, he's a hard thrower, and he's going to pound the zone.
Yeah, he wasn't sure when exactly Horn would get an opportunity to come into the series. He just knew he would. Wasn't sure if he would maybe need Ricky Harrison yesterday, but since the pitching staff for Birmingham-Southern did a nice job, large part thanks to McCown, Davis, and Adams out of the pen, able to save Harrison for today. And now that Harrison didn't go very far in this one, he still has a pretty full arsenal in the bullpen to follow him up.
Absolutely, Brian. A little surprised that we didn't see Charlie Horn right after Ricky Harrison got yanked a little early, with that knowledge that he was probably going to start in this game if Ricky Harrison was used on Saturday. But using Charlie Horn here as this game moves along, only down 5 runs.
Huge credit to Carter Tyus going 3 2/3, 3 hits, and just 1 run allowed, keeping Birmingham-Southern in this game down just 5. With plenty of baseball still to play, and you've got the heart of the order coming up for Birmingham-Southern. We'll start off with Ian Hancock. Still in there is Jackson Tier. We'll see how long he can keep it going.
Jackson Tier, his pitch count's getting a little up there, but overall he's done a great job managing this game and letting his defense play behind him. And no need to change what you're doing if it's working.
First pitch swinging is Hancock. Will it stay in play? Yes, it will. Preston charges over. And the first out of the inning on 1 pitch. Just what Tier is looking for, especially against the dangerous bat of Hancock.
That's exactly what we were saying. Able to make the contact and let his defense play behind him. Ty Preston able to get under that one and get the first out of the inning on Jackson Tier's 90th pitch of this game.
He's been efficient. He's worked quickly. He's kept one of the best offenses in the country off the board, other than that 1 run on an infield single. Breaking ball misses outside to Noah Best, who showed bunt on that first pitch that he took for a strike. Panthers doing anything they can to build a little momentum. Breaking ball perfectly located there.
I think we're about to find out how many pitches they feel Jackson Tier can throw in a game. Up to 92 already. As Best will foul that one off, I think we're about to see how comfortable they are letting him get to that high, and we'll see if he gets to 100 or not.
We're starting to see some movement in the Tiger bullpen, but right now nobody on, one out in the top of the sixth. Jackson Tier zooming through this lineup, a ground ball to Holloway. He scoops it up, makes the throw, and a second out, retired Hancock in best. Check, check for Jackson Tier.
This has been exactly what we've been saying all day. Very efficient out of Jackson Tier. I think he's only taken, 5 pitches to get out of these first 2 batters. And 1 out away. A very clean top of the 6th.
The only man between him and an official quality start is Jack Fleming, and he's not going to be in there for long. Flings the bat because Holloway able to catch it, makes it harder than it had to be. But a gray sky mixing with the ball. A nice job of Holloway to stay underneath it. And we're not sure if that'll be it for Jackson Tier, but 6 innings of 1-run ball against the Birmingham-Southern Panthers. A tremendous job by the sophomore from San Antonio.
Absolutely, Brian. Clean and efficient all day. Made quick work of these guys at times. And only 1 run given up to what is one of the most explosive offenses in the nation. A great start for Jackson Tier.
Trinity will look to add some more runs in the bottom half of the inning. They've been held off the board since the second. It'll be the lefty Horn, still on the mound after coming in from the bullpen after a quick break on Tiger Network. Ty Preston getting ever comfortable in the leadoff spot, leading off an inning for the third time, actually the fourth time. Every time he's come to the plate, it has been to start an inning. So not only in that number 1 slot for the lineup, the way it's worked, he has led off 4 different innings.
Shows the amount of base runners these guys have been able to get, going through all 9 batters in that first inning, and a lot of offensive production since, and it shows with the 6 runs on the board.
And a show of confidence in Preston, the left-handed hitter, to stay in there against a left-handed pitcher. Looping breaking ball gets a swing and a miss out of Preston. We have not seen a left-handed pitcher this year face the Tigers. But Coach Cano not electing to go to one of his right-handed bats off the bench. Preston too valuable right now, getting on base twice, coming around to score twice, and playing good defense in left field. Does go around on that check swing. He'll try for first, but Fleming takes care of it with the throw. And a strikeout for Charlie Horn, who got Gore to end the 5th, and now Preston to start the 6th.
Yeah, great start for the first year. Able to go through 2 of the tougher hitters in this Trinity lineup. Able to get the soft contact on Ezra Gore and able to strike out Ty Preston.
First pitch bounces away from Fleming to Harris, who is 1 for 1, but has come around to score twice because he has reached base in other ways, as he so often did last year. Colt Harris, just as we have this year some question marks around the diamond, second base was a really big spot for opportunity. Harris takes a strike. It was Jack Baker, Tanner Haney, and Colt Harris who got rotations of starts at second. And it was that weekend against Wisconsin Whitewater Colt Harris hit a grand slam over at Wolf Stadium, a game that was played in the home of the San Antonio Missions, the AA affiliate for the San Diego Padres. Harris hitting a grand slam in a minor league ballpark, and it was a weekend that really impressed the coaches. And after that, he was in there almost on a daily basis. 40 appearances, 37 of those starts. Something really clicked for number 2, and he held on to that spot. Hits it to second base right here, and will be sent back to the dugout. An impressive out because Harris, not an easy guy to retire.
Yeah, absolutely. Really strong at-bats all day from him. And able to get contact on that pitch as well. But very similar, the revolving door at second base last season, very similar to what we're seeing at the corners this year. First base and third base, there was actually discussion about using 3 different third basemen in the 3 different days. Holloway getting 2 starts in the 3 games, though.
With 2 outs quickly for Horn, he gets to face Nick Lazera, and the first time we get to see Nick Lazera from the right side. That's right, he doesn't just mash from the left side, he mashes from the right side as well. The only switch hitter on this Trinity roster. As if catching wasn't enough, as if being a power hitter and a line drive hitter from the left side wasn't enough, he can also do it from the right side.
We saw it in the Winter World Series. He's almost just as effective from the right side. Prefers the left side, but don't be surprised if he gets a hold of one here.
He grounds it foul to put the count at 1-2. One of the first conversations I ever had with Nick Lazera last year is asking him why he was a switch hitter, how it all happened. And he did say he's a naturally right-handed hitter, but he started doing things as a lefty at a young age thanks to his dad. And now if he ever had to give up a side, it would be the right side, even though he's naturally a righty. Funny how that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Prefers the left side, even though he is a righty, and it just shows what happens when you do something over and over again.
And as he puts it, has to work twice as hard as anybody because you have to practice from the left side and from the right side, whereas everybody else just practicing from one side of the plate. So if one guy gets, let's just say 50 reps, well, he has to get 100 to make it even on both sides. So Nick Lazera, you will always find him at the field working on something, and the results are paying off early in 2023.
Absolutely. Yep. Birmingham-Southern noticing those results, not only in the home runs that he's producing against them, but also Coach Weisberg, as Lazera takes that one, intentionally walking him at one point in this series, showing the respect that he has for him. Walking the bases loaded in that situation, just because he did not want to face Nick Lazera in that situation.
And right now showing the patient eye that he also has from both sides of the plate. A couple of tough pitches that he did not chase. Takes the count full to 3-2. Nobody on, 2 out in the bottom of the 6th. Lazera trying to extend the inning, and he will not. Thought he did for a second. Umpire rings him up, however, as Charlie Horn retires the Tigers 1-2-3 to keep the deficit at 5 for Birmingham-Southern. We'll see if they can make some late inning magic happen in San Antonio. Welcome back to Tiger Network. A quick break because we weren't sure if we'd see Jackson Tier after the end of the 6th, but here we are. He is getting ready to throw for a 7th inning, Cole. An impressive afternoon will continue.
Absolutely, Brian. I was wondering if that was going to be the day for him after the 6th inning, but the coaches felt that he was really clean and efficient in that 6th inning, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's limited Birmingham to just 1 run through 6. Might as well keep him in there for a 7th.
Tier, a sophomore, making his career debut with the Trinity Tigers after spending a year with Texas A&M Kingsville, a Division II program. The longest he ever went in the Kingsville uniform, the Javelinas of A&M Kingsville, was 4 innings, and that was his very last start against Angelo State. And so already blowing past his career high at the collegiate level, and just continues to pound the strike zone, starting DiPiero with a fastball strike.
Yep, making these Birmingham-Southern hitters beat him. Haven't been able to do it today, as he has been in complete command of this game.
Misses there on DiPiero to even up the count at 1-1. One of the questions we asked pitching coach Dave Smith was, how could you trust someone so quickly who just transferred in the month of January? And the answer was, he doesn't feel like a transfer. He has mixed right in with this pitching staff, with the entire roster, and the work that he has put in from the moment he got on campus earned him the start on this opening Sunday. And we are seeing the results of that decision. A breaking ball loops in there for a strike. Every pitch continuing to work deep into this game, as this is about to be pitch number 100. A 2-2 count with nobody on in the top of the 7th on DiPiero. And pitch 100 fouled away to keep DiPiero in the box.
Yeah, really impressive getting to 100 pitches, not only because you physically can handle that, but because the coaches have felt comfortable enough letting you last that long, and you've held the game in command and control to stay in it.
Pitch 101 fouled away. DiPiero spoiling a pair of good pitches. We do have action in the Tiger bullpen. A great look at it there. Jonathan Newman looks to be the name that will be called upon if Tier runs into trouble, but right now it is Jackson Tier's ball game.
I feel like this is a good time to point out Jackson Tier in my Spanish class. Jackson, if you watch this back, wish you all the luck on the test we have tomorrow.
Doesn't need much luck here at the baseball field. You mentioned Spanish. Eso es una rola segunda base. El primer out de la entrada. DiPiero se regresa al dugout.
Well, Brian, I hope that's not on the test.
Si necesitas ayuda, Cole, te ayudo. Nada más pregunta. If you need the help, just ask me.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
It just goes with the theme, Cole. We've talked about Jackson's San Antonio roots all game, and if you're from San Antonio, you know at least a little Spanish. I'm lucky enough to be fluent in Spanish, and I'm happy to help you or Jackson, since I'm not going to be able to help Jackson with pitching, right? So I might as well help him with something.
Well, you've helped me a lot on this broadcast, helping me find my way, and I appreciate you for that. And I might just take you up on that Spanish help.
Happy to help any way I can. Been a tremendous honor to be on Tiger Network for now 3 baseball seasons as this one has gotten underway. It all started during that shortened COVID season where no one knew what was really happening. Starting to call a game, didn't know what to do, was shaking under the table, and then realized, hey, I'm just talking about baseball. This is what I've been doing my whole life, and it has been an awesome opportunity to call baseball, volleyball, football, and basketball at Trinity University. Lots of success this year, and been at the front row of it all. Tier missing here with a fastball to the pinch hitter, Jacob Zito, the transfer from Central Alabama Community College. Got 2 starts on Friday and Saturday. Now Coach Weisberg going to him to try to get something going. The 2-2 missing away, and will take the count full.
See what Jackson Tier dials up here. He's gone through the order several times. These Birmingham hitters haven't seemed to figure him out yet, and that can be a big concern as you go deeper into ball games.
3-2 pitch fouled away. Jacob Zito will see pitch 109 as Tier continues to climb that ladder. We have seen no signs of his stuff getting worse. His fastball still at a good velocity. Breaking ball still with plenty of movement. What will be the call on 3-2? A breaking ball lined back up the middle, past Harris, and into center field for a base hit. One of the harder swings we've seen. Zito, plenty of glances at him from the bench. And will that be it for Jackson Tier? Taking a long stroll around the mound. Looking towards the dugout to see if Coach Smith is on his way, but he is not. He will continue to make his pitches against Eli Stedman here.
Yeah, they're going to trust him to get out of this inning, Brian. I can't say that's the wrong decision, even though he gave up the base hit. he hasn't really showed any signs of slowing down.
He had retired 8 in a row before that single from Zito, and now a visit to the mound. Lazera gets the ball in his mitt. Dave Smith will have a conversation.
Yeah, not taking the baseball. Looks like they're just talking about something, so you can get out of this.
Jackson has a smile on his face. He told us, what does he want people to know about him? That he is easygoing, easy to get along with. And he is making lots of new friends today with how he has performed. And Dave Smith showing confidence in him. Just a conversation, in fact, because he will stay out there to face Stedman. You never know when Dave comes out, because oftentimes you say, oh, when the head coach comes out, that's when the hook is made. But oftentimes it is Dave Smith who makes the changes from the bullpen. So you never know if it is just a conversation or a change. But this time it'll be Jackson Tier trying to get through 7 innings of 1-run ball. He has Jacob Zito over there at first, Eli Stedman at the plate. He'll check on Zito. We've had a lot fewer pickoff attempts because we've had a lot fewer runners for Birmingham-Southern. Breaking ball floats away. And the count 3-0 to Stedman as the Birmingham-Southern bench starting to rev it up a little bit, making noise on their side. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate for Jackson Tier. Still a commanding advantage for Stedman. Can wait for the pitch he wants, ahead 3-1. He'll ground it to second, 4, 6, 3, double play. And Jackson Tier gets out of it. 7 innings of 1-run baseball against the Birmingham-Southern offense. What a debut for Jackson Tier as a Trinity Tiger.
Just what the doctor ordered, Brian. Double play to get out of the inning. Lets the guy get on first, but able to shut the door and cap off what has been an excellent outing for Jackson Tier.
You simply cannot ask for a better performance in your very first start. Going 7 innings, allowing just 1 run against an offense that scores over 9 a game. Coach Smith, Coach Daniel have to love what they have seen from Jackson Tier as the Tigers holding on to that 6-1 lead that they've had nearly all game. With it now being time to stretch. And what a big Sunday it is, Cole. The big game, this one. The big game. There's another big game later. I heard they're going to play some football around a Rihanna concert. But I don't know, fun fact, if you've ever heard that, I think Rihanna's favorite sport is baseball because she says shine bright like a diamond. I can only interpret that as shine bright like a baseball diamond.
Yeah, no other way to interpret that one, Brian. But we're all excited for the Super Bowl. Definitely excited to be watching this game here, be able to cover it for you. But it'll be a really intriguing Super Bowl and a cap to what has been a pretty intriguing regular season.
The Tigers, the ones shining bright like a diamond today. And to continue the football metaphor is a very opportune time to bring up a point that head coach Tim Scannell told us in prepping for this season. We identified a little bit of a theme. If you look at the right field wall in San Antonio, you'll see the Tigers made the World Series in 2015, fell short, but then in 2016, they went back and claimed it all, their first ever national championship. Well, last year, they go to the World Series, fall short. What would history say? This year, they'll go back there and win it all, right? Makes sense, perfect formula. But Tim Scannell says, not so fast. He says anybody that looks at the championship at the beginning of the season is foolish to think that they can get there immediately. And he made the comparison to the New England Patriots, which is where the football comparison comes into play. He said when the Patriots were in their heyday, and of course he had to say the Patriots because he's from Massachusetts, they were never looking to win a championship. They were looking to just get better week by week and get to the playoffs, and from there take off to win the championship. And he says that's exactly what the mindset has to be for his Trinity Tigers. Get better every week, and the results should get them by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great mindset to have as a head coach of a team. Just keeping a level head, taking it one game at a time. I know that's what everybody says in the press conferences in the professional leagues. but it's really true. You have to win each individual game. Each opponent presents a new challenge.
Best a diving stop here at short, and a phenomenal play once again by the senior shortstop who has flashed the leather and the wood this weekend. Gets Holloway, who stung it up the middle. First out for Horn.
Yeah, when this came off the bat of Holloway, I thought he was going to get that one through, but Best able to make the athletic play and get the first out of the inning. But going back to what Tim Scannell said, I think it's really just not looking too far ahead, because if you look ahead to something that you haven't even earned yet, then you lose focus on actually earning it, I think was the main point he made. And I think it's just a great mindset to have, especially when you have a team and an organization that traditionally has high expectations.
And this is a program that has tremendously high expectations year in and year out. 13 conference championships since joining the SCAC, that World Series in 2016, and 3 overall World Series appearances. But what he's saying with this team in particular, so many young guys, so many players getting new opportunities, that it really does have to be a development focus first. And that's what he said keeps him coming back, as Scannell in his 25th year is going to see Nelson bloop one into center field, nearly gets over McNearney. A one-out single for Brandon Nelson. But Scannell saying he comes back because he likes pushing guys to do what they don't think they can do. And he says, okay, you want to be good. Do you really realize what it takes to be good? And he loves the job of motivating to get them there and beyond. And that's what's made him so successful as the coach of the Trinity Tigers for now a quarter of a century.
Yeah, I think he really enjoys that. He told us he doesn't really get excited for the season opener. He said he gets excited for Tuesday night games because that's where he feels the seasons are made. But I sensed a real excitement when he was talking about the development of players, and that's what keeps him coming back every season. As you said, a quarter of a century. Really impressive tenure by Tim Scannell.
He has to be excited by what he's seeing today. An offense that broke out for 6 runs in the first and second innings. They've continued to put some runners on, haven't threatened a whole lot since that second inning. A total of 7 hits so far for the maroon and white. And those sharp black jerseys today. Michael Montreza has Nelson at first, shows bunt, pulls it back late there, as it was high in the zone, will be called a ball. Michael Montreza, very fittingly, number 5 in his 5th year playing college baseball, but not all of them have been with Trinity. He transferred to Olone College in California, a junior college, during the pandemic, as he looks at a strike there. Said he wanted to give it a shot to be closer to home and also see if he could earn a Division I offer. But with COVID and everything throwing a wrench in his plans, he called up Tim Scannell late before last year and said, "Coach, can I come back? Can I earn a spot?" And he said, "You can certainly come back. Can't guarantee you a spot, but you can certainly try." And so at the beginning of last year, another one of those positions that rotated a bunch. But Montreza showing the skill that he did display from day one on Trinity's campus. And now in his 5th year, trying to wrap up his career in a positive manner.
Absolutely. These last 2 days he's been hitting the ball very well. Started out towards the top of the lineup in the season opener. Moved down to 7 at 6 now, and I think that's more of a keeping the consistency if it's working. Montreza, I believe, a 3-hit game yesterday. So why move him if it's working?
3 hits yesterday, already a single today as well. He hit .341 last year. Oftentimes, you think of shortstop as a defense-first position, but not when you're looking at the Panthers or the Tigers. Between Noah Best and Montreza, some power bats who hit for contact as well. Montreza lays off of that one in the dirt, and 2 runners now on base. Montreza and Nelson getting things going for the Tigers in the bottom half of the 7th.
Yep, 2 men on. Kind of getting back to that attitude that I mentioned way earlier in this ball game, not getting complacent. As Coach Weisberg will come out for Birmingham. Looks like he'll have a chat with one of the umpires, but not getting complacent. I know there's only I know they only have 2 half innings left to get all these runs back, but it's going to be pretty unlikely. But they still have the offensive firepower to do it. We saw it in that playoff series, down 7-0, able to come back. Got to keep adding on.
A change is being made Cam McNearney. Look at this, coming in from center field, giving all his stuff to Charlie Horn, who will make an exit, and it will be McNearney taking the mound. We will head to a pause on Tiger Network, but there might be a pause in the game. There will not be a pause in the conversation. We'll stick right here with you because I think it's only fair to finally give you the mascot story. We teased it yesterday, and we promised it would come at some point, and I think this is as good a moment as any. So you ready for it, Cole? You think people at home are ready?
Absolutely, Brian. Not a Tiger Network broadcast without the mascot story.
That's right. It is one of my favorite things to do. So here we go. Why is Birmingham-Southern the Panthers? Well, the teams used to be called the Gold and Black. Makes sense. That's their uniform color. We highlighted it earlier. But in 1916, during a football game against Spring Hill, a spectator in the stands yelled, "Those boys look like a pack of Panthers." That game ended in a shutout, and a legend was born. The pack of Panthers that the spectator saw has made Birmingham-Southern the Panthers all these years later, more than 100 years after that football game.
Wow, all started with one fan. That's pretty impressive. That's a really neat story.
See, if you're at home, you never know. You go to a game, you yell something, it could end up in the history books forever. Should we follow it up with why their Panther mascot is named Rowdy, or should we keep that for maybe a little bit later? I know we're already late in this game. Do we keep people tuned in?
I don't know. I actually really want to know that one. So as long as you can get it in, I'll trust your judgment on that.
Let's do it already. We're already talking about the mascot, so you've already learned why they're the Panthers. Well, in 1980, Birmingham-Southern held a contest to name their Panther. A man named David Rickard walked into the Student Center and just entered the name Rowdy into the raffle because he liked Olympic swimmer Rowdy Gaines. He didn't even attend the basketball game where the winner was announced, and he was just walking on the quad when a student yelled at him and said he had won the contest. His name of Rowdy won the mascot naming contest, and now their Panther is named Rowdy because of Rowdy Gaines, the legendary swimmer and the legendary broadcaster. So it fits in the conversation perfectly.
That's a really interesting story. These mascots pop up in the most random ways, and we're glad we have you to tell us about it. Always very interesting to find out.
First pitch from McNearney, a ground ball that gets a double play. Jack Peterson, one of the faster runners, can't beat the throw. What a job by Cam McNearney, taking off his jewelry, taking off everything that would distract him on the mound, coming in from center field and getting a 6-4-3 double play.
Yeah, how about the center fielder coming in to pitch? One pitch, 2 outs. Able to just get that soft contact. A tough play for Jack Peterson. Rounding into a double play with 2 men on. And that'll end the inning for Birmingham.
Yeah, this is not a surprise if you've been a Birmingham-Southern fan, although it has been a while since Cam McNearney took the mound. In his freshman and sophomore years, he made 2 appearances in 2020 and then 4 appearances on the mound in 2021. Stuck to just hitting last season, but now Coach Weisberg sensing an opportunity. His team down 5, last game of the series, a lot of his arms already spent, and he let someone who's already made plenty of noise at the plate and in the field do a little something on the mound.
Yeah, absolutely. It does a great job there. It only took him 1 pitch to do it. Had that experience, and a good job by Coach Weisberg saving some of his arms in a game where they have a 5-run deficit.
That 5-run deficit in the form of a 6-1 Trinity lead. They've held on to it since the 2nd inning, and the pitching from Jackson Tier kept it stable, and now the first man out of the bullpen on this Sunday matinee, Jonathan Newman, the junior from, you guessed it, Pearland, Texas. That's why we talked about it earlier. We must have had an inkling that he would come into the game, and he will look to keep what's been a great pitching day and pitching weekend for the Tigers as he throws a first pitch ball to Ty Truitt. Fastball blown by Truitt there, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Leading off this inning, but the number 9 hitter in this lineup, Newman, will want to retire him before turning it over to Dutton and McNearney.
It's been a real key in this game so far, Brian. Retiring those 7, 8, 9 hitters, not setting the table for Andrew Dutton and the rest of that top of the lineup.
Truitt continues to do his job in that number 9 spot, pokes a single into right field to start this 8th inning, and the Panthers trying to make some noise, down 5, but with 6 outs to work with.
Yep, able to get the first base runner. It's all got to start somewhere. You don't need to get it all at once. Yes, you only have 2 innings, but these Panthers know how to generate offense in many different ways.
So here is Andrew Dutton. Nice block by Lazera. Dutton has had a great weekend, and we'll have to wait a little bit before facing Newman. It's a quick visit to the mound. Dave Smith sensing that this is a moment that he can't let slip away. And so after a base hit and a first pitch ball to Dutton, a quick conversation to settle his pitcher in. First appearance of the year for Jonathan Newman after 13 a year ago, and he is familiar with these Panthers. He pitched 3 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs in Game 2 of that Super Regional against the Panthers. But it goes both ways, Cole. He knows them, and they know him.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that familiarity really across the board when it comes to pitchers pitching in this game. Not so much with Jackson Tier, which may have been part of the reason with the success he had. We saw Shavana, Joey White, Connor Adams. They've all pitched against each other, and you wonder how much that familiarity is kicking in with these two teams.
After the visit to the mound, Newman makes sure to pay attention to Truitt over there at first. Truitt didn't get a whole lot of playing time last year, did steal 1 base and was never caught. Dutton trying to send it the other way. Places it foul, however. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. Newman had an excellent start to his campaign a year ago. As he gives another glance over there at the runner. He gave up just 5 runs in his first 10 innings. Those were across 8 games, as he really started the year as someone that the Tigers trusted in exactly these spots. Late in the game, out of the bullpen, needing a few outs, Jonathan Newman was the guy to call. And in this opening weekend, looking like a similar situation for him as he places a fastball on the inside corner.
Yeah,
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Definitely. Jonathan Newman has a lot of run support in this game, has the 5-run lead to work with, but definitely want to close the door here. Birmingham-Southern potent offensively. You don't want to let him back in it.
Goes with the changeup. Dutton grounds it. Harris dives and can't reach it. It'll go into right field. Nevels to it quickly to keep Truitt at second. But a pair of singles by the Panthers has runners at first and second with nobody out, and the heart of this lineup getting ready to come to the plate.
Yeah, when this left Dutton's bat, I thought that Colt Harris was going to have a shot at it, but just able to get it enough to the right side of the field, just out of the reach of his glove barely. And the Birmingham-Southern Panthers in business now.
It'll be pitcher extraordinaire and center field extraordinaire Cam McNearney. Just took over the game in the bottom half of the 7th, forced a double play. Newman would love to force one himself, but McNearney, a speedy runner, hit .333 last year and was the hero of last night's game. Can he be a part of the comeback today? Lazera setting up inside, way up. Lazera will check on the runner, but not in time.
We've got action in the pen. It's Jonathan Newman allowing some base runners. We'll see how long of a leash he has in this one, but definitely has the stuff to get out of it before he needs to be yanked. We'll see what he does here.
The 2-0, big swing and a miss by McNearney. Expected a fastball, got it, and still couldn't catch up. Breaking ball, and another swing and a miss by McNearney. After falling behind 2-0, Newman climbs back into the count and looking for some good action here. 2-2 with 2 runners on and nobody out. Tigers up 5 in the top of the 8th, trying to salvage the last game of this series against Birmingham-Southern. Newman turns to second, fires. That's strike number 3. McNearney couldn't get his bat going, and he is frustrated as that was a perfectly located fastball on the outside edge.
After being down in this count, able to bounce back. The different locations of the pitch is high and inside and then goes low outside to get the strikeout and get him looking. A great way to battle back by Jonathan Newman and get that first out.
Newman now has to deal with the powerful Hancock, who flails at a fastball outside. Newman regaining some confidence after that strikeout, taking a deep breath and settling into that rubber as Hancock takes a step out of the box, now back in it. Lazera looks to set up outside. Newman keeping an eye on Truitt, swinging his head back and forth. Then a little blooper. Will it get down? No, it will not. Peterson there. And Ian Hancock retired with 2 men on to bring up Noah Best. 2 outs now gone, though, in the top of the 8th.
Jonathan Newman able to bounce back. Shaky start to this inning. We said he had the stuff to get out of it himself. No need to be replaced. So we saw Michael Bokey warming up earlier. But Jonathan Newman able to stick with it, use his stuff, and get 2 quick outs.
But as we saw yesterday, just as you might think the Tigers are about to either win a game like it was on Saturday or get out of a jam, Noah Best has been in the way. He is 0 for 3 today. But he has Truitt at second, Dutton at first. We'll hope to keep it going for his black and gold Panthers. Newman ready to fire. Changeup up in the zone. But it gets a swing and a miss from Best. And he needs one more.
It was a very similar pitch to the one he used 2 at-bats ago after he was down. Resorted to that, uses it again to get the 0-2 count. We'll see how it can finish off Best.
0-2 pitch misses outside. That bat will continue. This game started by Jackson Tiers, 7 innings of 1-run ball. Newman looking to keep that tally all by itself. The 1-2 breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Jonathan Newman sets down the heart of the Panther lineup, and the Tigers holding on to a 6-1 lead heading to the bottom of the 8th. Rihanna says, please don't stop the music. We say, please don't stop the baseball. We're not stopping it quite yet. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. Trinity hanging on to a 6-1 lead that you can see by that scoreboard on your screen. All the action came early. It looked like it was going to be an offensive explosion for Trinity. BSC then, after falling behind by 6, scored in the top of the third, thought, okay, here come the Panthers. But the pitching staffs have done a marvelous job holding this score as it's been for now 6 innings.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with both of these pitching staffs, especially Trinity and their bullpen's ability to come in and lock things down.
Neville's fist one to second base. Dutton takes care of it, an easy out for him.
We saw it with Clayton Jackson in game 1, coming in a big spot. Men on first and second, able to shut it down really quickly. Saw it with Giroux for a while there. And then Cade McGahan, able to come in for 5 innings yesterday, hold the deficit to 4 runs, and Jonathan Newman there in a big spot, able to get out of his inning and put the Tigers in a position to head into the 9th up at least 5 runs.
What you're describing, opportunities garnered by guys who have not had the most opportunities, and here it's Kai Tinker, his first at-bat of the year, his first at-bat in 2 years, as he did not play all of last year with a hand injury. But his at-bat short-lived as he flies it to center field. So 2 quick outs for Cam McNearney. It's the top of the order now, coming up to bat in the form of Ty Preston. The way Coach Scannell describes that situation of guys getting opportunities is a really interesting way of looking at the game, as a sky hook drops in for a strike. The quote, "Baseball is a game of opportunities. The failure is already built in, so why worry about the failure?" What he is saying is a game of baseball where you hit 300 and that's a successful average as a hitter, you're already failing 7 times. That whole concept of failure being built into the game. And so what he's saying the team is looking for is who will not be afraid of failure, who will step up, be poised when they get the chance. That's who eventually is going to play, and that's what we're getting ready to find out through these first 3 games and through the first half of the season, which will be mostly at home. A 17-game homestand for the Trinity Tigers. So get used to seeing these Tigers, fans.
Yeah, 2 guys he brought up specifically. That's going to be grounded up the middle and get through for for Ty Preston. The 2 guys he brought up specifically about guys who are going to step up at big moments and guys who he knows are going to relish those moments were Christian Holloway and Brandon Nelson. Guys, when the game's on the line, he knows are really going to love to have that opportunity to show what they can do. And I really liked that point about failure being built into baseball. Guys make a lot of money at the professional level to only succeed about 30% of the time.
Harris ropes it down the line, but right into the glove. Talk about a perfect spot. Newly into the game there is Mitch Austin, his first appearance. Welcome to the game. Welcome to the hot corner. It's called that for a reason, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. That was a pretty hot one off the bat, but the perfect spot right in the glove, and that'll end the inning.
We'll get a look at this replay. Harris thinking he might have a double down the line, but look at Austin and his reflexes. Might say cat-like reflexes as a Panther. And it sends us to the top of the 9th inning. Jonathan Newman will look to take care of business. Trinity up 6-1. After a quick break, we'll see if they can finish it off. I didn't lie, it was a very short break, and we'll come back because just before Nick Lazera got behind the dish to warm up Newman, you saw Jack Breezy help out Newman with a couple of receptions there behind the plate, and it's worth mentioning because Jack Breezy, his father, Drew Breezy, is the head coach of Center College in Kentucky, also a member of the Southern Athletic Association. But more importantly, Drew Breezy used to be the assistant coach of Jan Weisberg at Birmingham-Southern. His son, JT, on this Panther team, grew up with Jack Breezy. They have been lifelong friends, grew up 10 houses apart from each other, and that's been a really nice aspect of this weekend. Even though JT and Jack haven't played, still playing a part in this important series.
Yeah, Jack Breezy was talking about how they grew up together 10 houses away, as you said, used to carpool together. And it was really interesting just finding the links between these two teams as you dive into the research.
Not only are they 6-6 against one another, but it's truly a family affair between the Panthers and the Tigers. Newman looking to be the big brother today. Got a strike to start the at-bat on Fleming. Now bounces it on the turf to even it up at 1. Jack Fleming 0 for 3 today. Stares at a fastball for a strike. It's been a tough weekend for Jack Fleming. 0 for 3, 0 for 2, and now 0 for 3. Grounds it foul to the first base coach. But you excuse the offers at the plate when you understand how he has caught each of these 3 games. Talked about it earlier, just how difficult that is. And he has had to maneuver a pitching staff that is looking to find itself, and he has done a good job helping them through some tough spots. As he stares at 1 for a ball this time, count at 2-2.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job blocking behind the plate. I don't know if he's had a pass ball in this series. I can't remember one off the top of my head. But lots of opportunities with Trinity having runners at third, and he locked it down.
Being patient here, taking the count full. He may not have contributed to all the action, but he was at the heart of it on Friday night. As he awaits the 3-2 and draws a leadoff walk. Not how you want to start it if you're Newman. Fleming, of course, the one at the plate for the sacrifice fly that he drove in, but also the pass ball and the balk that led to runs. So if nothing else, he caused chaos in the batter's box, and now causes a little bit of hope if you're the Panthers. Getting on first base with a walk, bringing up Luke DiPiero. Looks at a fastball high, ball 1. DiPiero going the other way with it, and it'll fall for a base hit. Not wanting to risk it bouncing over his head there, Preston let it bounce, and it'll be a single to follow the walk. Runners on first and second now, nobody out, and some ominous signs if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, I think the one encouraging thing about this is that Newman started the last inning pretty similarly. So again, not a great start, but he was able to get out of it last time with no damage done. We'll see if he can do it to end the game right now.
There's 2 men warming up in the Tiger bullpen. And as Lazera takes a slow stroll to the mound, it is Tim Scannell this time. You see, you never know who you're going to find coming out of the Tiger bullpen. Out there to give a word of encouragement to Jonathan Newman.
Now Newman able to find that high changeup to the inside of the righties. He really utilized that pitch as a weapon for him in that last inning, was able to get him out of the jam there. We'll see if he goes back to it at all, as he's going to face some more batters and try and close out this game.
Home plate umpire saying that's enough, boys. Let's get back to the game. Newman sticking around to face Jacob Zito, the pinch hitter who drove a single into the outfield his first time up and has stayed in the ball game. You see Newman ready to go. This will be pitch number 30 out of the bullpen. Off-speed pitch, fails inside. This time a fastball catches the letters. Zito shaking his head, didn't think that was in there. You can hear the meowing, if you want to call it, roaring out of the Panthers dugout. Upset with that one, but it finds Zito at 1-1. Lazera crouching on the inside part of the plate here. Newman gets it there. A jam shot to second. Harris will take the out at first. The stretch by Tinker ensures the out is made. The runners do advance to second and third, but a nice job by Harris to range over there and record an important first out of the ninth.
Yeah, great play by Colt Harris, but I think that's one of those weird situations late in the game where I think both teams take the trade. Trinity takes the out there, and Colt Harris did the right thing, not trying to force that double play, just taking his out at first. And I think that Birmingham will take moving those runners over, trying to bring him in.
And for Newman, got it right where he wanted on the inside part. Now Lazera setting up outside. It is there, but it's a ball. Jackson Webster, the pinch hitter for Mitch Austin, who came in to play defense. He caught that line shot to end the 8th. Now the sophomore from Chelsea, Alabama, lines it over the head of Montreza. One run comes across to score. A second will hold up at third. And the Panthers strike for their second run of the afternoon, make it a 4-run ball game.
Does a great job holding up the runner at third. With the way that ball came in and where it landed, I really thought that he was going to score from second. Able to hold him there and keep this a 4-run game instead of letting Birmingham get another one.
All of a sudden, you have the tying run on deck. And Ty Truitt, the number 9 hitter, has done an excellent job turning everything over to Dutton and McNearney. And understanding the danger the Tigers are entering, Dave Smith will take the ball from the hand of Jonathan Newman and make a call to the bullpen. Trinity hanging on to a 4-run lead. Can they keep it going? We'll find out after a quick break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to Tiger Network. It is crunch time. The Tigers up by 4, but the Panthers, with one away in the top of the 9th, have runners at the corners, and their number 9 hitter, who already has a pair of hits, coming to the plate. So Dave Smith making a call to Michael Bokey. He will be the new pitcher for the Trinity Tigers here.
Yeah, when we talked to Dave Smith about what he expects out of this bullpen, one thing he noted is he feels Michael Bokey has arrived and that he thinks he'll be an integral part of this pitching staff. What better time to show it than closing out this game here?
Yeah, in the words of Dave Smith, he is the perfect example of taking direction, taking coaching, and using it in your arsenal. And we'll see what he has learned over the years as he bounces one in the dirt. Taking advantage of that is the pinch runner, Will Lantis. Of course he would take second. And now an even trickier spot for Michael Bokey. Facing Ty Truitt here, looking for the breaking ball. That does land in there for a strike. Bokey, a senior from San Antonio, so we'll keep the 2-1-0 theme going today, making just 3 innings in 3 seasons. That is how little he has appeared, but now as a senior, like you said, Cole, has arrived in the eyes of Smith and arrives with a fastball that gets Truitt swinging.
Yep, low fastball, able to blow it by him and get ahead 1-2, and we'll see what pitch he elects to use to try and get the second out of the inning.
Lazera setting up a big target for Bokey. Off speed, stays up, and the count drawn up at 2. But for Boki, those 3 innings across 3 seasons has come along with a lot of work that you may not have seen on Tiger Network if he's not in games, but it has been constant at practices, at scrimmages, and now a big moment for him. That breaking ball a little high, much closer than that last one. Lazera taking a look back at the umpire, asking where it's at. Where it's at now is a 3-2 count for Ty Truitt. 2 runners in scoring position. The tying run on deck in the 9th inning. What will Boki go to? Off speed, fouled away towards the BSC bullpen.
They're really trying to get that upper inside edge of that strike zone. That looping breaking ball. Didn't get the call in the first 2, lowered it that time and forced Truitt to swing.
Let's do the 3-2 again. Truitt waiting for the Boki delivery. Here it goes. Another foul into the net.
Yeah, he seems to be slowly finding the timing of that breaking ball. Wouldn't be surprised if he changes it up here.
Does he trust the breaking ball in the dirt? We saw BSC take advantage of a wild pitch yesterday in the 9th inning. Lazera behind the plate once again. What will he call for? Boki, the 3-2, gets him swinging. Excellent location there. Truitt not able to hold up. And Boki now with 1 out to get to bring home the W.
Yeah, you said the key word there, Brian, location. He goes up, up, up with the breaking ball. I was wondering if he would change it up. Does not change the type of pitch. Puts it at the other end of the strike zone. It gets him swinging.
First pitch to Dutton, another breaking ball. You can see Boki loves his breaking balls. Misses to the leadoff hitter here. Still runners on 2nd and 3rd. 2 outs now in the top of the 9th. And what are we going to get here? A call from the second base umpire, and that's going to be a ball. So Boki is going to be called for not being ready within 20 seconds. That's the frame that a pitcher has to meet. So just like that, a 2-0 count now in favor of Dutton. What will he get to hit? Still another breaking ball and make it a strike. Dutton trying to extend the game for the Panthers, who are down 4. BSC won the first 2 games of this series. Trinity trying to steal this 3rd one. Lazera sets up outside. Boki gets it there on the corner. Strike number 2. Just like they were yesterday, 1 strike away. You can see every single Tiger on the edge of the dugout, ready to celebrate a win. Can Boki deliver? He is ready to go. 1-2, breaking ball, misses. And it's 3-2, sorry. The graphic hasn't quite caught up, but remember that ball called on the not being ready to deliver. So 3-2 now the count. Breaking ball, chopped too short. Montrezl waiting for it, throws it to Tinker. That's out number 3. And the Trinity Tigers pull out the last game of this series, salvaging what's been a great series, hard-fought 3 games between the Panthers and the Tigers, and the Sunday matinee goes to the maroon and white.
We saw both elements of it, offense and pitching. Offense early. They only needed 6. They got all 6 in the first 2 innings, and then the pitching led by Jackson Tier, able to lock it down from there, handling the potent Birmingham offense and only allowing 2 runs on the day.
6 runs, 9 hits, just 1 error for the Trinity Tigers, besting the Birmingham-Southern 2 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Credit where credit is due to the Trinity pitching staff today. Jackson Tier, 7 innings, just 1 run allowed. Jonathan Newman carried it over an inning and a third, just 1 run allowed. And then Michael Boki shutting the door. The San Antonio connection. A Johnson Jaguar started it, and an Antonian College prep product finished it. What a day for the 2-1-0.
Yep, always nice when you get your first win of the season, able to get it here against Birmingham. But I've been very impressed with how Trinity was able to stay in and hang around against a team with such offensive prowess. You said it, only 9 times where they didn't score 10 runs last season, 3 here already. So the pitching held the fort down. The offense struggled in the first game, but able to find something in the last 2. A lot of encouraging signs out of Trinity in this series, even though they're only able to take 1 game.
Like Coach Scannell says, the beginning of a new season is the beginning of a journey. We have loved being a part of this journey with you this weekend. Birmingham-Southern taking 2, but they'll be flying home with a sour taste in their mouth, thinking they could sweep the Tigers, and the Tigers had other plans. Thankfully for us, it won't be too long until we're right back with you. The Tigers hosting Hardin-Simmons a week from yesterday, so that'll be Saturday, a doubleheader against the Cowboys from Abilene. Meanwhile, Birmingham-Southern flying home to face LaGrange on the 18th as well. What a weekend, Cole. Final thoughts on your very first weekend on the Tiger Network broadcast.
Oh, it's been really fun getting to know everybody. I think my favorite part has been becoming more acquainted with the players, getting to know who they are as people, and being able to tell their story on this broadcast.
It's very fun. We get to call a baseball game and enjoy it every single second. Thank you so much for all of you joining us at home. And one last thank you we want to say, especially to everybody who helps on Tiger Network, but more than anybody, Josh Muchigemba and Ryan Cedillo. We couldn't do this without you. You hung on what was a really tough weekend for you guys and made this magic happen. So thank you for all that you do. One last time for Cole Isaacson, I'm Brian Yanselson. Happy Super Bowl Sunday.